scoreboard is close to you.
Wow. Half the length of a football, and they've got the first down.
65 miles to go. Noses apart. 49ers taking the ball. Wow.
They both slide up the racetrack, and here they come for the white flag. One more lap to go, and Allison has a slight advantage on Jarrett as they head for turn number 1.
But remember, Dale's been going well on the inside. Does he have the right line, though, Bob?
Davey Allison keeps his car in the middle of the racetrack. Dale Jarrett's car is on the low side. Off the 18 degrees of banking, they go down on 5 degrees of banking, and Dale Jarrett wiggles a little bit as they come out of the second corner. They bump, they touch, they rub, going down the backstretch, side by side, wheel to wheel. Who is it going to be in the Champions Spark Plug 400? Jarrett has the slight advantage as they go into the third and fourth corners. Davey Allison battles back on the outside. It's going to be a photo finish. They touch coming down through the triangle at the line. Who wins it? I believe Jarrett does. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Tonight, live from Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee, it's the Bud 500. And once again, we are greeted by thousands of cheering, screaming fans. They know that when they come to Bristol, they're going to see some close competition, and we're set for 500 laps of it tonight. And good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins. Welcome to Bristol. We begin the second half of the Winston Cup short track season here tonight on this half-mile racetrack. As we take a look at the quest for the Cup standings, they have really tightened in the recent events. Dale Earnhardt only has a 69-point advantage on Ricky Rudd. A year ago at this time, the top 5 were separated by 363 points. Tonight, only 189 points separate the top 5. Now, here are some interesting statistics. Earnhardt has 7 wins on this racetrack. Ricky Rudd has no wins, but he has finished in the top 5 9 times. And Allison and Irvin have also recorded a win here at Bristol. Well, we don't know how things are going to go at the conclusion of this race, but one thing we do know, and that is the field is very tight as we begin the competition. And for more on that, let's go to pit road and Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Bob. You remember the old joke that close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades? What also occurs in qualifying. The difference from being on the pole to being on the truck, missing the field just a little less than a half a second, 0.5 of a second here. In fact, 2 former pole sitters this year had to take provisionals to get in the starting lineup. Brett Bodine, Quaker State Buick back here, and the Pontiac, the Pennzoil covers of Michael Waltrip. And the winningest car owner in Bristol International Raceway history, Junior Johnson, a 21-time winner. His car with Jeff Bodine aboard will start way back in 29th spot. And you think qualifying was tight? How about taking a look where John Kernan is standing?
Jerry, I'm standing between turns 1 and 2. As you can see, one groove has worked its way into here to this racetrack. Now, that means it's very important for these drivers to stay in that groove, because if they get out of it, they're going to either go to the back of the pack or they're going to wind up hitting the wall. Track position, very, very important tonight. Now let's go across the racetrack for the command to start the engine.
Gentlemen down here to do it, and at this time we'd like to welcome back to the stage from Food Lion our honorary starter tonight, Mr. Tom Smith. Gentlemen, start your engine!
The sound of 32 racing engines can lift the spirits of 60,000 people. And my friend Ned Jarrett, his head has been in the clouds since last Sunday. Ned, get on down here.
Time to get back to earth and get back to work again. I'll tell you, that was special, Benny.
It was special. And tonight is going to be a very special racetrack.
Yes, it is. It's a tough racetrack to pass on. Half a mile track is compared to 2 miles last week. Certainly a difference in the width of this racetrack, too. But Ernie Irvin, who won this race a year ago, starting back in 26th position. Ken Schrader is way back there, too. Those fellas have a tough job ahead of them to try to get up through the field.
But you mentioned 2 cars, 2 drivers that's driving Chevrolets. Last week, Ford's had the advantage. This week, it's reversed.
Well, last week at Michigan, we said that Ford had won 10-5 for Chevrolets on that 2-mile track. Here, would you believe that Chevrolet has won 27 times to 2 for Ford in the last 20 years?
Hard to believe, but true.
It's interesting to note also that there is only one Chevy that has qualified for the top 10 here this evening. On the other hand, 5 Fords will begin from the top 10, and the pole sitter, Bill Elliott, of course, is driving one of those Fords. Our Speed World coverage of the Bud 500 being brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. By today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. And by Quaker State, the Big Q is one tough motor oil. We'll be back to introduce to you the 32 drivers that will take the green flag in just a moment for the Bud 500. The field begins to move away. Here is the starting lineup for tonight's Bud 500. The Sears Die-Hard starting lineup finds Bill Elliott on the pole, his first of the year, in the Coors Light Ford car number 9. Outside, row number 1, Rusty Wallace. In the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac, he won here in April. The second row is Darrell Waltrip, 11 times a winner here at Bristol in the Western Auto Chevrolet number 17. And his best start ever, Chad Little, outside of row number 2 in the Bullseye Ford number 19. The third row, Alan Kulwicki in the Hooters Ford number 7, alongside Rookie of the Year candidate Bobby Hamilton in the Country Time Oldsmobile car number 68. Davey Allison starts inside row number 4. He's from Hueytown, Alabama, the Texaco Haviland Ford number 28, and Rick Mast in the Skoll Classic Oldsmobile car number 1. We take a look now at the rest of the starting lineup, and as you look through these, you will see what we referred to earlier tonight, that some of the top contenders in Winston Cup competition are back in the middle, if not the rear of the field. There's Dale Earnhardt starting from inside of row number 7. Rookie candidate Ted Musgrave is in row number 10. Ricky Rudd there in the 10th row. And the rest of the starting field, they will take 3 laps around this track for a warm-up, and then they'll be getting the green flag. The pace car leads them down the backstretch pits, and that is because the speed limit is 30 miles an hour on the pits here tonight. Now let's take a look at this racetrack they'll be competing on. It's 0.533 miles in length. The speed on the pole, 116.9, a time of 16.406 seconds. 500 laps is the length of our race tonight. And as Jerry indicated to you, the field is separated by less than a half second. Bristol International Raceway, there are pits on the front stretch and on the back stretch. Turn 2, a very important place to pass here at Bristol, and likewise coming out of turn number 4, you can pass. The banking, well, it's 36 degrees, the highest banks in all of Winston Cup racing in both turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the straightaway, the front stretch, banked at 16 degrees, and likewise the back stretch is banked at 16 degrees. Let's go to Jerry Punch quickly.
Rusty Wallace slammed the wall about 2 hours ago in the final practice session, guys. They had to rebuild the right side of the car. Ball joints, spindle, A-frames, put a new rear end housing into the car. A lot of question marks there in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac as to how the car will run. We're getting set for green, Bob.
Yes, we are. The pace car comes off the banking. The crowd on its feet, cheering and waving as the field comes down, led by Bill Elliott. The green is out. The Bud 500 is on. In 8th position at the moment. The field is led by Rusty Wallace as 2 laps are about to be completed. Elliott is second, followed by Waltrip, Kulwicki, Allison, and Strickland.
Well, that problem on Rusty Wallace's car, they seem to have had it fixed pretty good, Bob. He jumped out to lead them from the outside. That's pretty impressive, because they're going to have an inside groove here for quite a while on this racetrack.
And let's point out there has been no practice since Rusty Wallace hit the wall. They had to fix all these things that Jerry Punch was talking about and set the car up cold with no practice.
Wallace leading Elliott into turn 3 once again.
As we watch Rusty Wallace and Bill Elliott go down in turn 1, we see the white line on the inside. Underneath that white line is apron. You really can't tell it. Now you can from looking inside Dale Jarrett's car. It's flat down there, and as Bob said, the bank's 35 degrees, so you got to run up above that white line to catch benefit of the bank.
Great shot from the Citgo Ford driven by Dale Jarrett, last week's winner at Michigan International Speedway on the 2-mile racetrack. This is only a half mile here tonight. But one of, if not the most demanding track on the entire circuit. Ernie Irvan, we're inside his Kodak Film Chevrolet. He started way back in the pack and is trying to make his way up through the traffic. Ahead of him, Harry Gant there at number 33. That's Ted Musgrave up on the outside of the track ahead of Harry Gant.
Musgrave got back to the inside as quick as he could, too. He knows the outside is not a place to be, but he moves up again, and here comes Gant and Irvan both going by. Boy, you don't have to slip much. You get up in that second groove, and they're going to go by you.
As the night wears on, that groove will move up the racetrack, and the cars will be able to race side by side. But right now, that bottom of the racetrack is where you have to be.
Phillips 66 in-car camera here from Lake Speed's machine, looking back on Dave Marcus in car number 71. Tire smoke already seen from Dave Marcus's car.
You see quite a bit of tire smoke on this racetrack, Bob, because they dive so hard into these high banks. Puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the tires, and of course when they accelerate off the turns, there's a lot of side pressure as well. A lot of moving around on the track.
Lake running in 21st position and Dave Marcus in 22nd, but look how close they come.
And we saw sparks fly to the back of Lake Speed's car as he went down in turn 3. The car bottomed out, hit the racetrack, and that's where the sparks came from.
Starting this many cars on a half-mile racetrack, it's not going to take long for the leaders to catch up to those who are running at the back of the pack. And that's why we may see some lapping here within a few laps if we continue to go green.
Yeah, there we see some heavy smoke in that 71 car that time.
That might have been a little bit more than tire smoke, fellas. We say that Harry Gant is complaining about oil, and it might be coming from the overflow maybe of the Dave Marcus car.
We already see some oil on the windshield of Ernie Irvan's car. This is looking out the windshield of Ernie Irvan's car.
That's something you don't want on this racetrack, is oil to make it slicker than it already is. They did put sealer on this track. Dave Marcus has just received the black flag. You don't want to get any oil down. They did put sealer on this racetrack once again. And it is a very narrow groove that they work with here in the early going. Dave Marcus has slowed his car down the backstretch.
I believe he missed his pits back there, Bob. He was coming out.
Oh, and a spin over in turn 3.
Richard Petty spins around in the STP Pontiac, a complete 360. He keeps going. The field is coming around. He's going to have to hurry to the start-finish line or he'll go a lap down. The leader's coming by, and he makes it.
There's no yellow, so we're staying under green conditions. And Rusty thought that there was, and he let off, and now everybody goes around him. He's dropped back to 5th spot.
And so did Bill Elliott. Thought there was a caution flag. He backed off, and he's back to about 7th spot.
Yeah.
Darrell Waldrop has taken the lead. There was some confusion there because many drivers saw Richard Petty spin and they thought there was going to be a yellow. They backed off and there was no yellow at all.
I think Rusty Wallace saw his fellow Pontiac driver there in trouble, and rather than race down to the start-finish line to put him a lap down, then the caution was not there, so his good deed turned into a loss of a lot of positions.
Now Richard Petty goes a lap down. Oh, and Alan Kowicki is sideways but saves it.
He was trying to go follow Rusty Wallace Darrell Waltrip by Richard Petty and got the car sideways going in turn 1.
Looked like he was on dirt. Did a nice job of saving it, but boy, is he falling back.
Yeah, he got him that outside and ready to lose a lot of positions. Let's take a look again.
There we see Darrell and Richard almost get together, and Richard Petty came down the hill, and Kowicki almost spun.
Our number 68. The rookie, Bobby Hamilton, having some sort of a problem. He's in the pits in an unscheduled pit stop.
The leader is Darrell Waldrop as he got the advantage when Richard Petty spun and Rusty Wallace backed off the throttle. There's Bobby Hamilton that's brought the Country Time Oldsmobile in for early service. They're changing the tires on the right side of that car as we remain under green flag conditions.
Boy, it's tough to make a green flag pit stop on this racetrack because they go around about 17 seconds and you lose a lot of time. We understand the Dave Marcus. We saw him, black flag went into pits and it was a water leak instead of an oil leak.
And so Darrell Waldrop has the advantage now with 21 laps completed over Davey Allison and Rusty Wallace, who has moved up to 3rd position. Running 4th at the moment, Hut Strickland, followed by Bill Elliott. Now, we do have a right guard halfway challenge in tonight's race. At the halfway point, the driver leading will win $10,000, and you could win a new Pontiac Grand Prix SE. Dial 1-900-737-1100 between now and the halfway point to register. And if you're called back and you know who was leading at the halfway point, you will win a new Pontiac Grand Prix. They're the top 5 with 22 out of 500 laps completed at the Bud 500. We'll be back with more right after this. Around the world, around the year, ESPN with over 1 million miles of award-winning coverage. Our Speed World coverage brings us tonight to Bristol, Tennessee, in the northeastern part of the state for the Bud 500. And from our overhead camera, it almost looks like a toy that we're looking down upon, but it's real live racing. And at the moment, Darrell Waltrip leads as now the field gets completely strung out around this racetrack. And Darrell Waltrip is bearing down on number 26 car, Bristol 9. That would be the first car that would be lapped that hasn't gone into the pits. One car that has been in the pits recently was Bobby Hamilton. Jerry, what was the problem?
Bob, some cramming and bamming early on here at Bristol. Bobby Hamilton brought the Oldsmobile down pit road. They had bent sheet metal in against the right rear tire. They had to pull the sheet metal out and change right side tires. We're already seeing some contact here, even in the early laps.
Well, indeed, you can see some body damage there on the right side. At least the paint has been scraped away. Bobby Hamilton trying to stay on the lead lap. He's just ahead of Brett Bodine, or not trying to stay on the lead
lap. And he's
lap.
off the pace again. He's off the pace again and headed for pit road.
There goes the leader by. They lap Derek Cope in car number 10. Hamilton brings the Country Time Oldsmobile in for the second time. Jerry?
He has complained of something rubbing in the car and a vibration, so they're going to bring him back in now. He comes to a halt, and they're going to change all 4 tires. Concerned about maybe having a tire going down. He saw some of that sheet metal damage on the right side of the car. A tough break for the young man. It's a great qualifying effort in the Country Time Great Next Oldsmobile. Crew now changing right side tires. And remember, on a short track, a 25 or 30-second pit stop will cost you a lap and a half, maybe even 2 laps under green. Tough break for Bobby Hamilton.
He's won and, of course, involved in a tight points battle for Rookie of the Year honors with Ted Musgrave. 27.4-second pit stop, and Bobby Hamilton rolls back out onto the racetrack. There's Darrell Waltrip leading this race with Davey Allison and Rusty Wallace running second and third. Darrell Waltrip was one of the most confident drivers going into this race. He told us that he had the car set up perfectly. He was going to cruise for the first 300 miles and then make a charge, but he has found himself now on the lead and trying to put Brett Bodine a lap down in the Quaker State Buick, and he does so going into turn number 1.
I was going to say that all of a sudden Darrell Waltrip's job got awfully hard because he's starting to lap cars, and this early in the race, Brett Bodine, all these cars he runs across, does not want to go a lap down. They want to stay in that lead lap because who knows what's going to happen 300 laps from now. It's going to be hard passing cars. Brett Bodine, he had to fall for 2 or 3 laps, and that'll be the same case each and every time he runs across a car.
Ernie Irvin has been passing cars since the beginning of this race. He started 26th and is now running in 16th position as he passed Ricky Rudd. And Rudd, it appears, is slowing.
Yes, he is. The second man in the point standings coming in for an unscheduled pit stop into Tide Chevrolet.
Oh, a tough break for Ricky. He's going to have the tires changed on the Tide Chevrolet. Jerry punches right there.
Indeed, a tough break for Ricky Rudd. They will change all 4 tires. Apparently a vibration in the car getting loose, and they were concerned about him staying on the racetrack. Remember, the point standing should have a major shuffle here tonight. Remember, Earnhardt had problems early in Michigan, but this week it's Ricky Rudd who had closed considerably on Dale Earnhardt, and now they're going to hold him on pit road 15 seconds for excessive speed. Remember, the NASCAR rule, 30 miles per hour only on pit road. We're talking 34, 35 seconds, a lengthy stay, and now they let him go. A tough break, 38.5 seconds, and the Tide Chevrolet heads back to turn 1.
Ricky Rudd had closed the gap to 69 points on Dale Earnhardt coming into this race. He had really tightened up on the points leader in the last couple of events, but things have not gone well for Ricky here in the first 44 laps.
I think he went at least 3 laps down, Bob, on that pit stop. That would be awfully tough to make up. Long race here tonight, though, so you never know. Now Brett Bodine is off the pace, coming off the turn 4.
Rusty Wallace runs third. Hut Strickland is in fourth position as Hut is giving that car a good run here in the early going.
Now Brett Bodine is back up to speed again. I know he got a little bit crossways up there, I think, and sort of just need to gather himself back in. Of course, Brett is already a lap down.
Wallace won here in April. Now we go back a little ways and find Dale Earnhardt running just ahead of Sterling Marlin, and ahead of Earnhardt is the pole sitter for this race, Bill Elliott, who is eligible for $106,400 in Unicount bonus money. And the last time the bonus money was won was here in April when Rusty Wallace did it.
Look, here's Sterling Marlin on the inside of Earnhardt, takes that spot away. I've been watching that race for about the last 15 laps. Sterling Marlin right on the back bumper off. Oh, he almost gets by. He does get underneath Bill Elliott and takes that spot away. That's for fifth spot.
And Elliott just got out there, could not get traction, has to gather his car back in. Dale Jarrett and Mark Martin coming up behind.
He's coming in. Bill Elliott is coming in.
The pole sitter comes in. So he too suffering some disappointment here in the early going. Ricky Rudd is 3 laps down because of an unscheduled pit stop. And now Bill Elliott brings the Coors Light 4 to a stop in his pit area, located down by turn number 1. The seconds click away, and while they are, the field is at speed. And now a change of leader as Davey Allison has gone around Darrell Waltrip.
And it looked like that Waltrip all of a sudden slowed down like he had some type of problem. Davey Allison went right by him.
And Mark Martin is slowing down as well. He's about to head to the pits in the Folgers Coffee Ford. A lot of unscheduled pit stops here. Now remember, they are running bi-spline tires here. Let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch.
And Mark Martin brings his Folgers Ford down. We just saw Bill Elliott come in for what was a flat right side tire. And also, they are going to hold Mark Martin 15 seconds in the pits for too fast on pit road. He is changing right side tires, and now the NASCAR official is standing in front of the car. You see him pulling the left side tires off. Apparently a vibration in the Folgers Ford. They will change all 4 tires, but more importantly, they're going to hold him here in the pits for 15 seconds. And that does not make the Folgers team very happy. NASCAR official standing in front of the car, watching his watch, and Kawicki is out, and now they will get ready to let Mark Martin go. As here goes Alan Kawicki by, and Martin pulls back to turn 1.
I'll tell you guys, coming off of 36 degrees of banking at 110 miles an hour or whatever, it's very difficult to slow down to 30, which is the speed limit on pit road tonight.
Let me tell you something. This 28 cars, we watch him down the front. What is it? He's up to 100. Rusty Wallace, the black 2 car, it's about 125 miles per hour right there as he slams into that bank, slowing down to about 100 miles an hour and now accelerating back. When he slows down, as you said, Bob, and has to go down to 30 miles per hour, very, very tough.
So a couple of penalties already handed out on pit road for excessive speed as the action on the track continues. Davey Allison has the lead of the Bud 500 after 56 laps. We'll be right back. Back at Bristol, and Rusty Wallace has spun in turn number 4. Just before that, Davey Allison got out of the groove and lost numerous places. But now Rusty Wallace is in the middle of the racetrack in 4.
And that's not a fire that you see. That's just raw fuel in the exhaust that's burning. Please don't be alarmed that it's a fire. And Rusty Wallace had just taken the lead after Davey Allison went down in the corner and went up the racetrack, gave the lead to Rusty. He comes to the 4th corner and he crashes.
Well, they might have got together over there a little bit. He could have cut a tire. Rusty might have cut the right rear tire and caused him to get the wall here. And fellas, this is a break for Dale Earnhardt. He had just radioed in that he was coming in for a pit stop. Now he'll get to do it under caution.
Now here is the Davey Allison situation that we mentioned. Look at his car head right for the wall in turn 1.
Almost goes up and almost brushes the wall. Almost loses control then, but he does save the car. He's back.
And now Rusty Wallace's spin and crash up in turn 4. He apparently blew a tire. The car headed right for the wall, hit it real hard on the right side.
Looks like that the right front tire, the air left the tire immediately, and when that happens, the car goes straight ahead. If you're in the corner in the wall, Jerry Punch.
That's exactly what happened, Benny. In fact, Rusty told the crew that a right front tire went down on the car. We just saw unscheduled stops by Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin, and Bill Elliott, and all 3 had right front tire problems. Now you see Davey Allison's Hamilton Ford in the pits. He was the car that came into contact. They have changed the left side tires now, and he is moving out. Rick Match is gone, and Bobby Hiller is still getting work on his mellow yellow Pontiac. The back pit action heats up, and John Kernan is there. John?
Jerry, Ernie Irvin has come in for a 4-tire change. They're also putting in 2 rounds of bite, and he has asked them to check the brakes because he's having to pump the brake pedal to get them to take effect and to work. The Kodak crew going to work on the left side now. Ernie's sitting, waiting. There goes Earnhardt by. There goes the lug nuts on tight. The last bit of gasoline is in, and Ernie is away.
Darrell Waltrip in the pits, and Bill Elliott, of course, having his problems as he comes in getting right side tires. They're going around to the left side of the Elliott car. Now the Western Auto crew have changed the right side tires. They come around to the left side, and you will see it from turn 1 as they will try to peel out and head right toward our camera at the end of pit road. Bud Strickland moving out of the Robestas Buick. Here is Darrell Waltrip. And remember, 30 miles an hour on pit road. Here's Elliott moving out and Sterling Marlin.
Wow, all kinds of action there in one lap as Allison lost the move, nearly spun, and Rusty Wallace did spin and make hard contact with the 4th turn wall. His car is still in the racetrack as the safety crews have arrived, and there is some of the rubber that has been built up in turn number 1 already. We're still in the early stages of this Bud 500. Ayrton Senna, the defending world champion, will have the pole position in tomorrow's Belgian Grand Prix, which can be seen live here on ESPN at 7:55. Now, here at Bristol, the field is still under caution because of a spin and crash up in turn number 4 involving Rusty Wallace.
They just gave Bill Elliott a lap back.
Well, there was some confusion. He was almost stopped over in turn 3 on the racetrack as the caution car was coming around the first time, and I think there was confusion as to where he was supposed to be, and I think they gave him back what they might have taken away. Let's go to this and John Kearney.
Kenny Schrader was in twice already. Now this makes the 3rd time they've put a right front tire on the left front. They had to come in and change that. Now they've come in to change right side tires one more time so the stagger would match. Remember, once again, we are on bias ply tires, so the stagger has to be correct, whereas with radials, the stagger is already built in.
Schrader rejoins the field, which is still under caution. And Michael Waltrip is the leader of the race at this point. We have had 5 lead changes so far. The next time we have a lead change, it will be the 12,000th lead change in modern era Winston Cup racing. And the pace car has pulled off the racetrack, and we are about to go back to competition as Michael leads them fairly slowly down through turn number 4, and the green flag is out.
And some collision between the 6 car, the 7 car, and the 5 car. They all had trouble getting started in a chain reaction like a freeway crash.
Michael Waltrip, who took a provisional to get into the field, started 31st, is the leader.
Bobby Hillin having problems to Emilio Pontiac down the front straightaway.
Here is the restart again, and watch the inside line.
Kowicki, for some reason, didn't get going good. Martin runs in the back of him, and Rudd in the back of him. And as Ned said, the 42 car was off the pace just a moment ago.
And there is still going backwards.
Dillon is up top.
All the way to the back of the pack. He was up near the front, and now is back near the back.
We might mention we have had a driver's change as Bobby Labonte has gotten into the number 8 car in relief of Rick Wilson, who has the flu.
Both these cars, 7 and 6. The 30 car is the leader. Alan Kowicki in the 7. Mark Martin in the 6. Both these cars laps down, trying desperately to get in front of the 30 so they could get a lap back, and Kowicki tries it, can't make it.
And the 5 car of Ricky Rudd also is a lap down. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Rick Wilson has climbed down to the Snickers Buick, and Rick, I understand you're not feeling very well.
Yeah, last night I caught a stomach virus, and I've been dehydrated all day. I haven't been able to keep anything on my stomach, so we got Bobby Labonte to stand in for me. Snickers Buick's running good, but right now I'm a little lightheaded. I'm going to tell my wife I'm going to be okay. Just lightheaded and dehydrated.
Well, Rick getting out of the car. Bobby Labonte making his first ever short track Winston Cup start. He had a great run last night in the Busch event. Bob?
Yes, he did. He finished second, as a matter of fact, in that race. It was on ESPN at noon today that was run here last night. Labonte and Jeff Gordon had a terrific duel for second place in the late going off that event. Of course, it was won by Dale Jarrett, his second consecutive victory. One in Winston Cup and one in Grand National.
Is he going to win them all?
Boy, he'd love to. I think he sort of got used to that, and he'd like the taste of victory.
The Phillips 66 in car. This is late speed. Going down in turn 1, right behind the Kodak car of Ernie Irvin as you see Bobby Hillin leaving the pits.
Ernie Irvin just up ahead, and Harry Gant ahead of Ernie.
That NE means not entered.
And that's looking back at Lake Speed from Ernie Irvin's car.
Looks like Ernie is leaving Lake pretty quick. The third car behind is the 24 car, Dick Trickle, the Team 3 Pontiac. And this is Dale Jarrett, the fellow we was talking about that won last night, directly behind Trickle.
Dale made a good pit stop, fellas. During this.
Waltrip is in the wall. The leader crashes coming out of 4.
And some heavy damage to the Pennzoil Pontiac as he comes off turn 4.
This is unbelievable, guys, what we have seen here in the first 79 laps of this race.
And some cars are going to get some laps back here. The 7 car, the 6 car, and the 5 car.
Here's a replay. Watch the leader.
The 7 car, the 30 car comes off, and the right front tire, same situation as Rusty Wallace, loses the air. All of a sudden, into the wall.
All right, let's talk about this tire situation. We've seen several cars lose right front tires as we take a look at the crash once again from our speed shot, and you can notice the heavy contact that Michael Waltrip has. What could explain this tire situation?
I don't know. The racetrack is there's some loose debris around the racetrack. Evidently, some of those stones are cutting these tires down.
Yeah, and I don't think Michael Waltrip made a pit stop during that caution period. For more on that, let's go to the pits and John Kernan.
We talked earlier about how important track position was. You know, as we had told you, Michael had to start way back in the pack. So Billy Engel decided not to pit on this last time. That gave them the lead. They were running fine. He thought the tires were going to hold up. But apparently, he may have blistered one and ran just a little bit too long on that right front because it blew and put him into the wall. And on the back stretch of the pits, we've seen quite a number of cars with the right side, right front tire has blistered.
And John, one of the cars that has some heavy damage is over here being worked on. I'm with Rusty Wallace, and Rusty, you took one whale of an impact in turn 4. What happened?
It must have cut a right front tire down. There wasn't no must about it. It did. And right in the high-speed part of the corner. I've cut a lot of tires down here, and it's always the same spot, same point I hit at the wall. So it's getting kind of tiring, but this one wasn't near as severe as some of those ones I did. But they just resealed the racetrack, and evidently these heavy cars running around here, that doggone sealer they put down, just picks the rocks up and cuts the tires down, and numerous cars have been hitting walls and cutting them down, and so it just keeps happening.
Now, you were leading out there, and you saw Richard spin. I guess you thought maybe a yellow flag was coming out, and you and some of the other cars backed off and slowed down?
Well, there's a whole bunch of cars spun. I thought the caution was coming out for sure, and I waved my hand up just for reassurance to, hey, we don't want to go flying through here wide open, and caution flag never came. And I let about 5 of them pass me, and I went ahead and took back off. Felt really crazy having to get out of the throttle like that, but I thought it was the safest thing to do. And got back going again, got up, got past Davey, took the lead. The very next lap, the tire went. So Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac running good, handling good. You know, overcome a big wreck earlier. That's going good.
We'll let Rusty go back to the car. They're working on the car here behind us, and they will hopefully get this car back in the race, but they're going to have a lot of work to do, gentlemen.
Rusty Wallace, 8th in the Winston Cup points, 398 behind the leader, Dale Earnhardt. The enthusiasm continues here at Bristol. Back at Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee for the Bud 500 as we line up for a restart. Well, tomorrow here on ESPN, we'll have some exciting amateur golf once again. The U.S. Amateur Championship, as a matter of fact. That begins at 2 o'clock Eastern Time live tomorrow. Manny Sermon and Mitch Voges going at it. You saw that earlier this afternoon here on ESPN. And watch the finals tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern Time live. 84 laps completed. They come down to receive the green flag on lap number 85. The leader of the race is Terry Labonte.
Another one of those drivers trying to get track position, started at the rear of the field, has chosen not to pit, has stayed out, trying to get in sequence with all the other drivers so he can have a shot to win the thing at the end. It's a very calculated risk, especially what we've seen with Michael Waltrip and Rusty Wallace. Two fellows leading the race, blew right front tires and smacked the wall.
Labonte, only the second time he has led this year, and he has reached a milestone. His lead means that we have had 12,000 lead changes in the new Winston Cup era since 1972.
I think Bill Elliott just got back in the lead lap. I don't know what the situation was that he got down some, but he just got back in the lead lap.
That's our pole sitter, Bill Elliott. Made an unscheduled pit stop.
So Labonte's lead is the 12,000th lead change. What was the very first one? Came in January of 1972 at Riverside. Petty passed Foyt.
Well, that's two real legends that don't race far.
The Phillips 66 in-car camera. Bobby Hamilton there in front now.
Here comes Darrell Waltrip, the early leader in the race, trying to fight his way back after a series of pit stops. Bobby Hamilton has made at least 2 pit stops, is several laps down in the yellow 68.
Waltrip is 13th. He was one of the leaders.
That's Joe Ruttman directly behind in the Dinner Bell Oldsmobile.
Or is it Chevy?
That's the Oldsmobile. Is it? Yeah. Look at that rear window the way it was there. You can tell that.
Ruttman's team will be using the Oldsmobile and the Chevy. And look at Dale Earnhardt rubbing with Jeff Bodine as they come off of the 4th corner.
And almost getting out of shape. Great job of driving by Earnhardt to maintain control. Jeff Bodine, another car that has chosen to stay out for track position, currently running 2nd.
He started 29th.
Boy, look at the rear quarter panel of Jeff Bodine's Budweiser Ford. He's already had a lot of banging going on out there. Now Earnhardt trying to bang on the other side.
Earnhardt will take a look to the inside. Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd is right there on Dale Earnhardt's bumper.
Now, Ricky is a couple of laps down from that unscheduled pit stop earlier. He went 3 laps down. He got 1 of those back.
And there goes Earnhardt and Rudd passing Jeff Bodine on the high side in turns 1 and 2.
Jeff Bodine saw that he was holding up those 2 cars and chose to back off, let them go by.
So now Dale Earnhardt is 2nd. Jeff Bodine is 3rd.
4th is Jimmy Spencer, and in 5th place is Morgan Shepherd. 6th is Harry Gant. 7th is Ernie Irvin. Dale Jarrett is 8th. The 12 car of Hut Strickland is 9th, and Rick Bass is 10th and about to be passed by Sterling Marlin.
Tell you what, Terry Labonte's hanging pretty good for the fact that he has stayed out. Boy, look at Ernie on the outside trying to go by the Derek Cope car.
I'm telling you, that is some tight racing at 125, 30 miles an hour.
No, Benny, I'm not sure that new tires are that much of a speed advantage on this racetrack. As a matter of fact, most of them qualified on scuff tires that had been run a couple of laps. So the fact that Terry Labonte has not been in the pits might not mean a great deal as far as speed is concerned.
Jeff Bodine continues to go to the back of the pack as Kulwicki, Hillen, and Jimmy Spencer have all passed him. Now Morgan Shepherd is right behind the Budweiser Ford.
And as I say that about the tires, you see Jeff Bodine starting to go back. Maybe after a certain period of time, they probably do start to slow down.
And Hillen slides up.
Hillen once again slow coming off the 2nd corner. Let Spencer get underneath. This week Spencer is sporting he is sideways trying to get through these corners. Now Jeff Bodine is trying to take that position back, not position, but track position back, but Hillen just took away from him.
And Kyle Petty scheduled to be in that car at Darlington next Sunday at the Heinz Southern 500. Kyle did some testing this week. The doctors gave him the okay to get back in racing, so Kyle will be back in the Mellow Yellow Pontiac.
And we'll have the Southern 500 live here on ESPN next Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We're in Ernie Irvin's car again as he is behind Derek Cope.
This is going in turn 3. Once again, about 125 miles an hour. Down to about 90. Accelerating down the straightaway quickly up to 125 once again.
Now, Cope made an unscheduled pit stop early, too, so he's at least a couple of laps down.
Bodine almost loses control once again. Harry Gant gets by. Here comes Irvin, Jarrett, Strickland.
Strickland passes Jarrett. Now there's Sterling Marlin alongside Dale as he gets on the high side and loses track position.
Yeah, that cost him.
Here's that traffic jam.
Morgan Shepherd.
Yeah, just touched Bodine a little bit, got him out of shape.
Boy, did that create some scrambling behind.
Tell you what, when he slows down 10 miles, 15 miles per hour quickly, that means there has to be some scrambling behind him.
Here's Ernie Irvin moving inside of Derry Cope. Now here comes Hut Strickland and Sterling Marlin.
Well, we understand that Dale Earnhardt feels he might have a tire going down. We'll keep an eye on that.
He is slow. Earnhardt is slow down in turn 1.
Let's go to Jerry Punch with a story.
You're right, guys. Earnhardt radios, and I think I have a right side tire going down. I've got a pretty significant vibration. Likewise, Bill Elliott is concerned that he may have a tire vibrating, but Earnhardt is going to come in and get right side tires. The crew now waiting for the Goodwrench Chevrolet to come down pit road. Remember the speed, only 30 miles an hour. Looks like he's barely moving as he comes all the way down to turn 1. And now Will Lynn, David Smith and the crew will go across the wall and change right side tires. A tough break for the 4-time national champion as Ricky Rudd also having his problems. This will help Ricky Rudd. Remember, Rudd was trying to catch him in the point standings. He's already had a miscue with the right front tire problem. Earnhardt is down and away.
Dale Earnhardt building up speed on the backstretch, but it cost him as he had to come in for a change of tires, as we have seen on so many of the top contenders here tonight.
And what did that cost him? 1 lap? 1 lap that Dale Earnhardt went down.
Terry Labonte continues to lead this race in the Sunoco Oldsmobile. Terry Labonte leads with 110 out of 500 laps completed. We'll be back with more live coverage after this. Jimmy Spencer has taken the lead here in the Budweiser 500 as he was able to get around Terry Labonte, and here is how he do it. This has been an impressive run here in the last few laps by Jimmy Spencer.
And we see Labonte go in the corner. Alan Kawicki goes by him to get a lap back. Also Ricky Rudd. And here comes Spencer for the lead as they come off turn 4.
And we understand that the 94 car of Terry Labonte may have a flat on the Sunoco Oldsmobile. And he is in the pits.
Labonte in the back pits. John Kernan is also back there.
They've just finished changing 2 right side tires. And I'm looking at it. I can't really tell if one is pushed it as of yet. They're checking the right rear tire, and yes, it looks like it has gone just a little bit of flat. It has lost some air pressure, so Labonte had been leading, loses probably a lap and some valuable time here in the pits.
Terry Labonte was the leader, but now with that unscheduled pit stop, he loses a lap and drops back. And there is the leader as Jimmy Spencer puts another lap on Terry Labonte.
Labonte now has the car back up to speed, and maybe with those fresh tires, he'll be able to get back. Now Ricky Rudd has gotten by.
Morgan Shepherd has moved up to second. Harry Gant third. Hut Strickland fourth. Ernie Irvin is in 5th place.
Well, the lead now belongs to Jimmy Spencer, and Jerry Punch has more on that.
Bob, no surprise at all. Remember Harold Elliott, who built the engines when Rusty Wallace won the Winston Cup Championship? Well, Elliott also built the motor that Rusty Wallace used to sit on the pole and win the race here back in April. Well, he left the Penske operation and went to work for the team of Jimmy Spencer. And they had not had an engine from Harold Elliott until this week. Elliott said, I'm going to build you an engine that will possibly win at Bristol, Tennessee. And right now, apparently, it's doing awfully well. Let's go over to the backstretch and John Kernan.
This is the right rear tire that came off of Terry Labonte's car. You can see where the cut was. It looks almost as if someone just took a knife and stuck it through and slid it down. Apparently got on a rock or something out there on the racetrack, cut the tire down, and loses some valuable time in the pits.
Working in the pit area is always difficult, but is especially difficult tonight because of the noise level in this place. It's a racetrack that's essentially a bowl, and when you add the grandstands, the noise just can't escape, and those pit guys are doing a terrific job working down there, not able to hear hardly anything. The right guard halfway challenge tonight. Call 1-900-737-1100 and register to win a Pontiac Grand Prix. If you are called back and you know who is leading at the halfway point, you will win a Pontiac Grand Prix SC. The number to dial again, 1-900-737-1100.
And you wonder why that rocks makes the cars go flat on a race car and not a passenger car. Because the race car tire, the tire is only about 3/8 of an inch thick. At the very thickest part, it's only about 3/8 of an inch. That's why a stone goes through and cuts it so quickly.
Good battle for second position between Morgan Shepherd and Harry Gant. Morgan, the Bud Moore car, is now in second position, and Harry Gant runs third.
Morgan Shepherd will be leading this team at the end of this year, the Bud Moore team.
Harry Gant, another one of those who has come from the rear of the pack. He began this race in 25th position. Morgan Shepherd began from 18th.
That 15 car had a great run last week in Michigan until he, I think, blew a spark plug apart or something.
Yeah, spark plugs, I think it happened more than once up there.
Take a look at the serial on Jimmy Spencer, who continues to lead this race. Spencer on lap number 25 was in 17th after starting 11th. He moved up to 13th. Came to 7th at the end of 75 laps, and now has the lead at the end of 128. So he did drop back from his starting position, but then began to charge to the front.
If you watch the Winston Cup race here in April, when we're here for the Valladale 500, that Jimmy Spencer's car was awfully strong. And Harry Gant has closed up on the back of Morgan Shepherd. This, once again, is for second spot. The red 15 is Morgan Shepherd. He has it. The green 33 wants it.
Passing on this track, very difficult. Lap traffic does help in certain situations. If you can catch somebody behind a slower car. Let's see how Shepherd and Gant work the slower traffic that they're approaching. Ted Musgrave, at number 55, will be the first.
They're running about 2.5 seconds behind Jimmy Spencer, who is leading the race. Now Gant looked on the outside. Don't think he wants to do that. It might have been a decoy. Have Shepherd look up in his mirror and say, he's going to try me on the outside. I better move out. But Shepherd's too smart to fall for a trick like that.
I mentioned that Morgan Shepherd ran well last Sunday in Michigan. So did Harry Gant. As a matter of fact, that late caution flag with just about 12 laps to go, I thought Harry Gant was in good shape to win the race. He ended up finishing about 5th or 6th. And there is Hut Strickland. Has run these fellows down.
Yeah, Hut has come from back in the pack, Benny, and has moved up into 4th position. He is really moving into Ray Vestas Buick.
Strickland started 9th, is now in 4th spot, is now 2nd, 3rd, and 4th have gotten around Ted Musgrave.
Well, he had moved up to about 3rd or 4th before they made a pit stop, and then after he made pit stop, he was pretty far back in the pack, but now is moving up. And there's Ernie Irvin. He is running into 5th position.
And we get inside his car. Just behind the Ted Musgrave car, and just ahead of Ted is Hut Strickland and Harry Gant. On and off the accelerator. Listen to him lift now, going into 1. And Musgrave
gets very loose going into the turn. Back end gets loose. He is able to hold it. Benny, if that had been radial tires on that car, he might not have been able to save that.
He probably wouldn't have. And that blue car on the inside is Dave Marcus, who's had trouble all night long. Once again, is slow on the racetrack. Then Ernie pulls up on the back of Dick Trickle.
Back up front, it continues to be the 98 car of Jimmy Spencer leading this race. He's trying to become the 2nd first-time winner in a row. Now, of course, last week, Dale Jarrett won for the first time. And think back, if you will, when was the last time we had 2 consecutive first-time winners? Think about it while Jerry Punch reports from the pits.
Guys, Jimmy Spencer's crew's been doing some calculating. They just told him on the radio a minute ago, if this thing stays green for about 50 more laps, up to around lap 190, he could possibly lap the field. And Jimmy didn't say anything back. He's busy right now, but they are awfully pleased with the way that car's running here in the Food City pit.
He is very busy lapping slower traffic out there. 2 cars ahead of him have the track blocked at the moment. Jimmy Spencer now puts a lap on Chad Little. The last time we had 2 first-time winners in a row, have any idea, Benny?
Not a clue.
Well, I know I did it one time, but surely it wasn't that long ago.
You are one of 3, as a matter of fact, but the most recent was Pete Hamilton, who won the Daytona 500 in 1970, and James Hilton then won at Richmond.
And Rick Mast is going slow on the racetrack and for the pits in the Skoll Classic Oldsmobile.
Ernie Irvin closing right in on Hut Strickland.
And we saw Ernie put his hand up. That was to tell Sterling Marlin, look, I'm not going in the corner like I normally do. So, hey, hit the brakes. Don't run in the back of me because we have some traffic up here that I've got to slow down for.
Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth running nose to tail.
And not far behind is 7th and 8th, Dale Jarrett and Davey Allison.
Great racing here at Bristol. As usual, Jimmy Spencer leads this race. We have completed 143 laps out of 500, and we'll be back in just a moment. Problems have befallen Harry Gant in the number 33 Skoll car. A tire going down. He's losing valuable track position. We anticipate a pit stop any moment. He drops down off the banking now, as a matter of fact. He heads for the backstretch pits, and John Kernan.
Harry just makes his entrance onto pit road, coming very slowly. They think the tire on one of the tires on the right side is going down, so Andy Petrie and the crew will go to work. They had kept him out for just a few laps after feeling the vibration and had a spotter check it out to see if he could tell if the tire was going down. They finally decided to bring it in before they blow it. Right sides only, and Harry is down and away, but he's lost a lot of time here in the pits.
It was only a 12-second pit stop, but he lost a lot in terms of the racetrack.
Now,
second position.
That's second, third, and fourth. The 15 red, Morgan Shepherd. The blue 12.
Ricky Rudd coming in for an unscheduled pit stop. Now this is second position they're fighting for. Morgan Shepherd is second. Hut Strickland is third, and Ernie Irvin is fourth. As Ricky Rudd comes in for an unscheduled pit stop, a change of right side tires on the Tide Chevrolet.
Jerry Punch reports from Rudd's pit.
Once again, a tire problem for some of the cars. We saw Rick Mast come in a minute ago. He had a right front tire going down. Rudd develops a vibration, and once again, you cannot take a chance here at the high banks of Bristol. They have changed right side tires, now changed left side, and Rudd will head back to turn 1.
And now Morgan Shepherd has a problem, and he relinquishes second place and more as he slows the Motorcraft Ford.
Yeah, I think he has a tire maybe going down as well. Shepherd had run up there in second place for a long time, but boy, now he's in front of some traffic coming heavy on him. But he'll head to the pits on the backstretch this time around. He couldn't get in there the last time. He was too high on the racetrack, but this is going to really cost him.
We see some sparks flying out from under the car. I don't know if it might be something more serious than a flat tire. We'll have to wait and see as he goes slow down pit road. Once again, 30 miles per hour down pit road. He's down to Bud Moore and the crew.
Work on the right side of the car. Windshield is clean. The right side tires are on, and Morgan Shepherd is back in competition.
I believe he's going to be at least 2 laps down by the time he gets back out there, Bob.
Look at this Spencer.
Yeah.
He is really in a bunch of heavy traffic.
He has been behind Kawicki for the last several laps trying to get by Kawicki, but Kawicki wants to save that lap. Not anxious to let him go by.
Here it was a couple of laps ago, and watch Kulwicki try desperately to stay on the lead lap. Look at this. He's pushing him across the line.
He just letting him know he's back there, and I think he got the message loud and clear. Once again, bumping down in turn 1 and 2.
Well, Jeff Bodine has brought the Budweiser Ford in for a scheduled pit stop on the backstretch. How about it, John Kernan?
To get better track position, they had decided to stay out the last caution period. So Junior Johnson and Tim Brewer, master strategist, will bring Jeff in now for a 4-tire change. That work is already done, and Jeff moves away. This was, I want to reiterate, a scheduled stop for Bodine.
Yeah, since he didn't stop under the caution, he has gone about 160 laps, so they can go about that far on the tank of fuel here.
Jimmy Spencer continuing to hammer on Alan Kulwicki.
And also Kawicki hammering on the back of Lake Speed, trying to get under Lake Speed. And once again, I think Kawicki might have a chance. Here comes Davey Allison in the pits.
Yeah, an unscheduled pit stop for the Haviland Ford of Davey Allison.
Finally, Kowicki is able to get by late speed. Now let's see what happens with he and Jimmy Spencer.
Davey Allison was running in 6th place. They're changing right side tires while we watch this action. Davey Allison goes out of the pits now as Harry Gant goes around leg speed.
There is Dale Earnhardt, our Winston Cup points leader, who finds himself running in 13th position, a lap down. Also, there is Darrell Waltrip, car number 17. He is 6th at the moment.
He is on the lead lap.
But I'll tell you, he's not too far in front of Jimmy Spencer, fellas. He's about 3 or 4 seconds, I guess. But Spencer has been held up, as we've documented back there. And Darrell, who had led this race earlier, is not doing quite as well as he did.
Now the length of the straightaway separates Darrell Waltrip from the leader. And a car into the wall in turn 1 is Bobby Hillin. Hillin cranks the wall in turn number 1. Keeps it up high on the track. Doesn't slide down into anybody else.
Let me tell you what Bobby Hillin is doing right now is trying to get his breath, because when he hit that wall, he hit with such a force, he has lost all the air in his body. The car came to a stop of its own free will. He had nothing to do with it. But now he probably could put the brakes on if he had to.
You see him moving around in the cockpit. He takes down the netting. He's okay. May have had the air knocked out of him, but he's in good shape. The 3rd caution of the evening out on lap 168.
Right now, he has put his head back against the headrest and is taking some air into his body, because he hasn't had any for the past few seconds. Man, what a lick.
Yeah, he hit it hard. Car just went right for the wall as he headed into turn 1.
As we see Bobby trying to get out of the car, the leaders are coming into the pits.
There's Jimmy Spencer, the leader of the race. Jerry Punches right there.
And this is a break for Jimmy Spencer, guys. They had radioed a minute ago. They saw some smoke coming from the left front tire. So Spencer and the crew will get a chance now to change all 4 tires to 21. Dale Jarrett, our most recent winner, also in. He getting right side and left side tires. You see the entire pit road, everyone down trying to come down and get fresh rubber. A lot of concern about tire wear here. Spencer's car moving down and away. And likewise, they're putting left side tires now on the 21 car of Dale Jarrett as service all up and down pit road for fresh tires.
Well, while the service is being completed here on the front stretch, the action picks up on the back stretch in John Kernan's location.
Ernie Irvin has pulled the Kodak Chevrolet into the pits. Tony Glover and the crew have gone to work. Right sides are already on. This will be a 4-tire change, taking advantage of the caution period. Pit for fuel and 4 tires. Ernie sitting in the car, waiting. Left side lug nuts going on. They're pulling away part of the right front fender. Kenny Schrader, talk about a break. He just radioed into Richard Broom just a few laps ago. Said, I think I've got a right side tire going flat. I may have to come in and pit. Well, now he gets a chance to come in under caution and pit for 4 fresh tires, and he is away.
So several drivers were benefited by this caution flag that was brought out by Bobby Hillin's encounter with turn number 1.
Goes in the corner, coming through the corner. We can see him going in the corner, and all of a sudden loses air in the right front tire. Car just won't turn. He goes straight in the wall. And I'm telling you, folks, right now, Bobby Hillin is saying, please let me breathe one more time.
He's okay. He's already out of the car. The rescue squad at the backstretch. They will lift his car off the racetrack, and we'll get back to more action in just a moment from Bristol, Tennessee. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Each week we marvel at how quickly and efficiently the crews are able to change 4 tires by putting 5 lug nuts on each tire in less than 30 seconds. This high-speed ballet looks almost magical, but it really isn't magic. Actually, it's preparation. Let me show you. They use a silicone glue around the base of each lug nut. Now, this silicone glue will act to hold the lug nut onto the wheel. The lug nuts are placed on the wheel, then a heavy metal weight is placed on top of the wheel. Now, the lug nuts are actually allowed to sit on the end of the studs because the studs have no threads on the distal half-inch. You simply push the wheel up on the studs. The lugs will hang there, ready for the air impact wrench to come on and tighten each one individually. Looks pretty simple. However, if you don't put enough glue there, your lug nuts can fall off. You put the wheel on and you can lose a lot of valuable time, particularly at a short track like Bristol, Tennessee.
And with all the tire changes we've had here in the first 172 laps of this race, I'd like to have the concession on the Silicon Blue tonight. It is a beautiful evening here in Northeast Tennessee at Bristol International Raceway, and there's a shot from our helicopter hovering overhead. Bobby Hillen has just hit the wall in turn number 1. His car is off the track, and Bobby is with Jerry Punch.
And Benny Parsons, you were right. Bobby had to catch his breath, and we're here with wife Kim. And Bobby, what happened up there?
Well, Jerry, we had a lot of problems. First, the power steering broke, and when we went green that one time, I could only turn it about halfway to the left, and I was going up to the wall, so I had to come in. I lost about 4 laps, and then we got going pretty good, but we lost a cylinder, and that, well, I think that caused a push in the car, and then we got the right front, and it blew.
Now, we're seeing a lot of right front tire problems. Is it the racetrack? Is it the fact that the cars are just going so hard in the corners?
Well, you know, it's just the track's so tight that we just didn't get the. I think a lot of guys just had the car pretty tight and worked the right front pretty hard. So, you know, with the new sealer each time, it makes it tough to get the setup. So, you know, maybe we'll have to do some more tire testing. I'm not sure, but it's just a tough racetrack, and that's going to happen.
Well, the good news is Bobby Hillen is okay and will drive again after taking one massive head-on lick there in the concrete in turn 1. Bob?
And here is a look at it. Once again, there's the damaged car. Watch the upper right of the screen, and there's Bobby making hard contact with the wall.
When that tire goes down, he just can't cut it to the left. Into the wall he went.
So we remain under caution here at Bristol International Raceway. We're glad you could join us on this beautiful Saturday evening. We'll be back with more in a moment. Under our third caution of the evening with the yellow on because of the crash involving Bobby Hillen. We'll give you the complete field rundown here as we watch from high above Bristol International Raceway, and you can see some of the 60 or so thousand fans that have gathered here for this event. They built more grandstands down in turn number 4 this year, and they sold every one of those and probably have a capacity standing room crowd here. They just can't build enough and sell enough seats for the people that want to watch the Winston Cup racing here on a Saturday night. As we complete the field rundown, cars that are already out of competition, several of them there, Michael Waltrip and Rusty Wallace crashed earlier. Now, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, Sunday night baseball here on ESPN. Couple of teams that are trying to get back in contention for their respective division leads. The Cincinnati Reds against the New York Mets. The Mets will be trying to get revenge for the game this afternoon that the Reds won, and so you will be able to see it at 8 o'clock tomorrow night Eastern Time live here on ESPN, the Reds and the Mets.
You talked about standing room only. Over in turn 2, where these cars are going through now, this is turn 1, they're entering turn 1. As they exit turn 2, those people sitting up on that bank, there's no seats there. They are sitting on the bank.
They brought their blankets.
Sorry, see those people?
Yep.
They're sitting on the grass. There's where the grandstand starts, right where the light is. All those people to the right are just sitting on the grass in the blankets.
It's a good view from up there, though.
Must be a couple thousand people there.
A lot of tires that have been cut down tonight. John Kernan has more on that.
Well, we'll go to the horse's mouth. Wayne Torrance, the field director for Goodyear. And Wayne, I've looked at one of the tires that looks like it has cuts on the side, but you say that's not the problem we're seeing here tonight.
No, this problem that you're looking at here is shoulder tearing, which occurs almost each time we come to Bristol. That doesn't really create a problem, even though it doesn't look too good. The problem we're having tonight is just numerous real small punctures. Obviously, it must be from the track coming up here in turn 1 and small rock getting up. Some of the leaks have been so slow we've had to take them down and put them in a tub of water to actually find them.
Well, there you hear it, small punctures now. We get just a quick shot here to show you what I was asking Wayne about. This looks bad, but it's not the problem. Let's go to the front pits and Dr. Jerry Punch.
John, you know, timing is everything in auto racing, and we just learned today that the sponsor here on the Jimmy Spencer car, Banquet Frozen Foods, will not be back next year with that team. However, the good news is they may make an announcement as early as the middle of next week about somebody else coming on board. So good news and bad news, and hey, good news for Jimmy Spencer right now here at Bristol, guys. Indeed, he is the leader of the race as the cleanup crews continue to work, and we remain under caution with 179 laps to go. We'll take another break and be back with more from Bristol International Raceway.
Winston Cup replays are brought to you by Autolite Spark Plugs, guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go. Bristol International Raceway, a night of thunder for Winston Cup drivers, including Ernie Irvan. As usual, close competition on the 36 degrees of banking. Dale Jarrett led 24 laps in the first half of the race, but pole sitter Dale Earnhardt led the most laps. He would finish 8th after tire problems. Ernie Irvan, who started 6th, was the hometown favorite and looking for his first Winston Cup victory. With 90 laps to go, Irvan took command. Could he hold on for the win? Yes, Ernie Irvan wins the Busch 500. Irvan joined the list of drivers, which include Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace, who won their first race at Bristol. So Ernie Irvan won his first race here, so did Earnhardt and Wallace. And if things continue well, we could see another one, as Jimmy Spencer is the leader of the race right now, under caution here at Bristol. And Jimmy Spencer there in the Food City Banquet Frozen Foods cars at the head of the field.
There's Harry Dent.
The advantages of night racing, you can see the sparks as they look at that.
Wow, what in the world?
Huh.
What? And they must have stuck something or other while the engine was running, stuck some kind of bar up there, but it looks like they're going to, well, this time they're going to change tires.
Yeah, we're live now.
Yeah.
Going to try it again.
Paul, we watched that pit stop. You're talking about Jimmy Spencer. If he could win, be the first time. The first 3 cars right now, Jimmy Spencer, Hut Strickland, and Sterling Marlin, neither of them have won a race. And until last week, Dale Jarrett, who's running 4th, had not won one. So could very well come tonight.
Maybe we're seeing a changing of the guard, if you will, in Winston Cup competition, with some of the young guys who have not won making a name for themselves in this kind of racing. Well, they continue to work on the racetrack, trying to get some of the debris and the rubber buildup on the track out of the way, so we'll take another break. The cars have just taken the green flag and are now in turn number 2. Jimmy Spencer has again jumped out in the lead. Here comes Hut Strickland, however. There are 9 cars, and Jeff Bodine spins in turn number 4. Is he going to collect anyone?
Not yet. Well, Hut Strickland is almost spinning and finally does down the front straightaway. Hut just couldn't get his car straight after trying to dodge Jeff Bodine, I guess.
I think he and Bodine got together over in a corner, and Hut got the car sideways and came all the way to the front straightaway before he finally lost control and spun. And there we see Jeff Bodine going in the pits to try to figure out what's going on.
Now here is the restart, and you'll notice that there is contact between Spencer on the outside and Bodine on the inside as they take the green.
Ooh, Spencer almost gets turned sideways as they take the green. Now here comes Hut Strickland. He's running second. Bodine laps down. And then they go down to turn 3. This is what happened in turn 3. Bodine and Strickland gets together. Strickland goes up, almost hits the wall up there. Bodine does go around. Meanwhile, Strickland, as you can see, he's starting to spin as he goes out the picture.
And you notice Sterling Marlin, who got caught up in the smoke, just stopped. And here is what happens when you hit the brakes. Well, you get nailed by somebody from behind, as Terry Labonte did on Dave Marcus there. And Jeff Bodine has taken the Budweiser Ford behind the wall.
He did make some contact with the right front of that car, but I thought the car was almost stopped. We see him trying to jerk the fender off, and Bodine already is taking his helmet off, has the window net down.
I wonder if a gear, he might have torn a gear out or a broken axle or something of that nature in that spin, did he?
No, he's taking the helmet off.
Although he drove it back there, so it wouldn't be a gear.
I thought he was taking the helmet off. I guess he was not, but he's crawling out of the car.
Probably disconnecting the radio and is crawling out of the car. Here's a real-time replay of the crash from Dale Jarrett's perspective. This is
Dale
the
was in 4th place when the race restarted.
Boy, at that point, you just point it and hold on, don't you?
Thank goodness Hut Strickland didn't come back across the racetrack and was able to stop that car, because if he'd come back across the racetrack, it would have been directly in front of Dale Jarrett.
Well, many drivers are complaining about the condition of the racetrack. And There has been some breakup of the surface on the speedway down in turns number 1 and 2 that has resulted in many cut tires here this evening.
What's happening is, as the racetrack tears up, it creates small stones, small pebbles, and when these cars go across those pebbles, they puncture a tire.
And now from Ernie Irvin's perspective in the Kodak car. John Kernan is with Jeff Bodine.
Jeff Bodine has crawled out of the Budweiser Ford. He sat back in one of the trucks back here in the back. Jeff, what happened out there?
Ooh. You're testing me, John. This is a tough time to be talking to a guy like me that just got in a wreck with the circumstances we're working under. This is work to us, and all us guys, we're trying to work the best we can. And I hope the Lord's with me, because I don't want to say anything I shouldn't say. I just got bumped up in turn 2 and got a little sideways. I was a couple laps down, but I was trying to get that lap back, and going down this corner, got bumped again, and I guess twice for the charm, maybe 3 or 4 times. I got bumped quite a bit, and I just got turned around and it slid up into the wall. It really hit the wall pretty hard with the right front, but we were running all that bad. We were running all that good. We tried to take a chance. We didn't pit on that first yellow. We stayed out. They got us up front, but it didn't work. Our tires wore out.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff, of course, saying it was pretty tough to climb out of the car and answer the questions, but we're back to racing.
Good composure there by Jeff Bodine as the green comes out once again, and we're back to racing.
And Jimmy Spencer could not get his car started on the restart. Seems to be up to speed now as he is directly in front of Davey Allison.
But look how far Ricky Rudd jumped out in front of him. Rudd, of course, a couple of laps down.
Yeah, he is now 2 laps down. He was 3, but has gotten back 1 of them at the moment. Phillips 66 in-car camera looking at Dale Jarrett. And Dale Jarrett, meanwhile, is looking at the 98 car, the leader of the race.
Of course, between Dale Jarrett and the leader is Davey Allison, who is a lap down because of an unscheduled pit stop.
Here's Ernie Irvin, the Kodak Film Chevrolet, directly behind Dale Earnhardt going in turn 3. We saw Earnhardt a spark out of the right rear as he went in the corner and bottomed out.
Well, he's still a lap down, folks, in case somebody just joining. He's currently being shown in 12th place, but he is 1 lap down because of an unscheduled pit stop.
Beginning to see a good battle up front as Davey Allison closes in on Jimmy Spencer, and Jarrett really puts the heat on Allison. These two have found each other again, just as they did in the late stages at Michigan last week. Allison and Jarrett. And Earnhardt is right there also. Now, Davey is a lap down. Davey Allison is not in 2nd position. He is a lap down, shown in 11th.
Well, I wondered why he was so aggressively going after Spencer. Now I understand. He is a lap down. Desperately needs to get in front of that number 98. The red Chevrolet, and Spencer goes a little bit high. And Davey tries to get under him.
And he does get under him as they go into 3, but Spencer holds him off for the moment, gets a little bit sideways, still holds him off. Wow.
Every inch here is so important. Every inch is critical around the racetrack. As Rusty Wallace has finally repaired that Miller Jimmy Draft Pontiac, he goes back on the racetrack.
He cracked the wall hard in the early stages of the race, but repairs have been made, and Rusty Wallace goes back in competition.
You wonder why he would go back 100 laps down, or how many laps he is spinning the pits. Winston cut points because he may go out and run the next 300 laps and beat 1 or 2 cars.
About 130 or so laps down, Davey.
Wallace, 8th in the point standings. As a matter of fact, is 134 laps down to the field.
Davey Allison having a little bit of trouble coming off turn 2 over there, and not getting the traction he needs every time coming off there. Here's Earnhardt trying to go under Dale Jarrett. Earnhardt knows he's got to get by Jarrett and then Allison and then Spencer to get back in the lead lap.
Here's Morgan Shepherd moving through the field once again. Morgan is 2 laps down after an unscheduled pit stop. So actually the cars you're seeing there, only 2 are on the lead lap, Jimmy Spencer and Dale Jarrett, 1st and 2nd.
There are a total of 9 cars that are on the lead lap. The Shepherd moves around the car of Dale Earnhardt.
Dale gives a little nudge there as they go into 3.
I wonder how many times last Monday morning when someone that didn't know who won the race asked their friend and said, who won the race? And they said, Dale.
And they said, oh, Earnhardt won again.
No, Dale Jarrett.
Look at him bumping out there.
I think Dale Jarrett might be a tad faster than Davey Allison if he can get around him. You see Jimmy Spencer getting away up there, and he'd sure like to get around, but Davey Allison now not much of a position to get his lap back. This is slowly off the turn.
And there is your leader, Jimmy Spencer, who is looking for win number 1 in Winston Cup competition. We'll be back with more live coverage in just a moment of the Bud 500. Back at Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee for the Bud 500. It's about 9 o'clock Eastern time. If you're just joining us, we're 211 laps into this race, and the leader is Jimmy Spencer. And Davey Allison, who is a lap down, has been falling back recently. He was running right up there with Jimmy Spencer, but is not now. So the battle on the racetrack becomes one for third position between Sterling Marlin, car number 22, and Hut Strickland in 12.
Right now, that's a race for 6 spots. 22 cars running 6. Hut Strickland is running 7. Currently, Jimmy Spencer the leader. Dale Jarrett is second. Ernie Irvin third. Bill Elliott fourth. And Alan Kawicki is fifth.
And we mentioned that Rusty Wallace was back out after a long stay in the garage area, and so is Michael Waltrip, who hit the wall a little bit earlier. He's back out in Pennzoil Pontiac.
Front end damage there to the Maxwell House 4. There is the Jimmy Spencer car that is the leader of the race.
Davey Allison was up there trying to get his lap back a little while ago, but he has really dropped back in the pack now. We understand the right rear tire might be going down on his car.
Right in the second place, Dale Jarrett. The 66 car of Lake Speed is headed for pit road as we take a view from the Phillips 66 in-car camera. Lake brings that car to a halt, and they go to work. He's one of the cars pitted on the backstretch. Whether you pit on the front stretch or the back stretch is determined by your qualifying speed. And Michael Waltrip brings the Pennzoil car in also on the back stretch just ahead of Lake Speed.
We see Speed's crew going around to the left side. So it's going to be a 4-tire stop on that Phillips 66 Pontiac.
This is an amazing statistic on this racetrack. 31 of 32 still running.
The only car so far out of the race would be the 42 car of Bobby Hiller.
Davey Allison is headed for pit road. We suspected that he might have a tire going down. He began to fall back a few laps ago, Jerry.
Exactly, Bob. They think it might be the right rear tire. Now, Larry McReynolds looking at the left front tire. They're very concerned about tire wear. Remember, he ran the car awfully hard trying to get his lap back. They have changed right side tires, and he is away.
Quick pit stop for Davey Allison.
Yeah, but that'll cost him. That's going to put him at least 2 more laps down than what he was. He was already 1 lap down.
There's Dave Marcus, and car number 71 is going very slowly, but not the leader, Jimmy Spencer, and we are nearing the halfway point. In just 30 more laps, we'll reach lap 250, the halfway point. And the driver leading at that mark will win $10,000, and you could win a Pontiac Grand Prix SE. Dial 1-900-737-1100 between now and the halfway point and register. If you are called back and you know who was leading at the halfway point, you will win that new car. Again, 1-900-737-1100 is the number to dial. Do it right now because we are approaching the halfway point. And this battle for 6th position continues to rage.
And Hut Strickland finally has taken that spot away from the 22 car, Sterling Marlin. 12 is blue and white car, Hut Strickland. The blue number 22 is Sterling Marlin. Davey Allison we see in front. Change that right side tire back on the racetrack and pass both of these cars.
There is Jimmy Spencer lapping Richard Petty. And also the 55 car of Ted Musgrave. Let's give you an indication of how much of a lead Jimmy Spencer has as he crosses the line. There is Jarrett. It's just a little more than 1 second.
But Bob, about 10 laps ago, it was almost 3 seconds. Jarrett has cut that lead down some. Now, whether it's because Spencer was in the traffic, I don't know. Jarrett's in the traffic now, so we'll see how it all shapes out after they get out of traffic. If they do, because there's cars all around this racetrack, so they don't stay out of traffic long.
Well, it's 1.4 seconds now as Dale lost a little bit. You know, we talked earlier about having consecutive first-time winners. When was or how many drivers have won 2 consecutive races after they won their first one? And yes, you're right, Ned was one of them. Billy Wade did it back in 1964, and Ned and Dick Linder won their first race and then repeated with another victory. And Dale Jarrett is looking to do that tonight. Staying pretty consistent, the interval between first and second.
Yeah, I think once Spencer got out from behind that traffic, held him up a little bit, which let Jarrett run in on him. He's certainly holding his own in the Food City Chevrolet.
This is the time of race where perhaps the drivers have adjusted to the conditions on the racetrack and to the traffic and beginning just to settle back a little bit. Meanwhile, out on the racetrack, the 15 of Morgan Shepherd and the 6 of Mark Martin are running together, each 2 laps down. They're battling for 15th spot.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's tough. These guys 2 laps down, knowing they've got to try their best to run 500 laps as quickly as they can and get the best finish position they can. And it's so hard physically to get around this racetrack. As you enter the corner at 125, 30 miles per hour, it almost wants to swing you through the right door. Your neck, your upper part of your body takes a tremendous strain to speedway.
We are live at Bristol International Raceway. For Saturday night Winston Cup racing, the Bud 500 is 230 laps old. Here are the top 10. We'll be back in just a moment. Around the world, around the year. ESPN with over 1 million miles of award-winning race coverage. Speed World tonight in Bristol, Tennessee for the Bud 500. And what a race we have underway here. Nearing the halfway point, just 13 more laps to go before we reach halfway. The leader of the event is Jimmy Spencer there on the left side of your screen. Also there on the screen is Ricky Rudd and Ted Musgrave. Both of them are not on the lead lap as Ricky is now 2 laps down. Best battle on the racetrack could very well be between the number 9 and 12 cars of Bill Elliott, who was the pole sitter, and the 12 of Hut Strickland. This is for 5th.
Hut Strickland has been one of the fastest cars all afternoon, all evening, I should say. And Bill Elliott, as you said, he was the pole sitter in that Coors Light Ford.
Look at this, 106,400 available tonight only to Bill Elliott, the pole sitter, if we can win this race. Now, if he does not win the race, that amount moves up to 114,000 next Sunday afternoon at the Southern 500 at Darlington that we will have live for you here on ESPN at 1 o'clock. Mark Martin brings the Folgers Ford down pit road.
This would be an unscheduled pit stop, Bob, I believe.
He's 2 laps down. And the Jack Roush team jumps over the wall and begins to work on this car.
Hut Strickland and Darrell Waltrip. Has something happened to the 12 car, Ned?
I don't know, because Waltrip...
Yeah, something has happened to the 12 car. Because he was right behind Bill Elliott a moment ago. Now he's a straightaway behind Elliott. Darrell Waltrip went by him, and he's in jeopardy of losing more laps. So now Hut Strickland having problems.
Waltrip moves to 6th position. Strickland back to 7th. Marlin 8th. Now Marlin will take the spot.
Probably another tire going down on Hut Strickland. 9 cars still in the lead lap.
We see fire coming out the exhaust. He has got a misfire in the engine. As he backs off the gas, we see fire coming out the exhaust.
Big disappointment for Hut Strickland. He was running so well in the Rebestos Buick.
Right in front of the left rear tire. There he goes in the corner. See that spark coming out the corner? That is a misfire. Buick comes toward pit road. And Jerry Punch is down there with the crew. Jerry?
Well, Jimmy Finnick, the crew chief, just told me that it was a right front tire. They had radioed in and said, we think we have a right front tire going down, so they bring the Rebestos Buick to a stop, and the crew will go to work. They will clean the windshield, fill it up with gas. Unfortunately, this all takes place under the green, and we'll lose a lot of valuable time. One of the front runners here early on, losing valuable laps. They changed right front tires. He is down on the weight. Remember, only 30 miles an hour. That's as fast as he can leave pit road.
Well, we saw the fire coming out the exhaust, so maybe he has broken an exhaust. If you get some air in there occasionally, some cool air, that will cause the thing to backfire and look like a misfired engine.
Now he went one lap down, so now there are just 8 cars in the lead lap.
And we've only got 3 more laps to the halfway point. Jimmy Spencer, the leader of the race, could pick up $10,000 here in 2 more laps now. There is Elliott and Darrell Waltrip running side by side. Darrell comes to the inside off the 4th corner, trying to take 5th position away from Bill, and he does. Waltrip moves to 5th.
Rick Bass back in the pits, unscheduled pit stop, and here's the leader, Jimmy Spencer. He's moved back around Ricky Rudd.
Putting Rudd 3 laps down again, and he's a half a lap away from $10,000. Here comes Jimmy Spencer off corner number 4, and the Food City Banquet Planters car driven by Spencer picks up $10,000 for leading at the halfway point. Now, if you have registered for the Right Guard Halfway Challenge and you are called back in the next few minutes and they ask you who is leading at the halfway point, tell them Jimmy Spencer, and you'll win a car.
Ooh. Wouldn't that be nice? Jerry Punch reported that Banquet Frozen Food would not be back with Spencer next year. I don't think Food City is I think that's just a local grocery store chain, isn't it, Ned?
That is correct. And a lot of times Banquet will put the sign of a grocery store chain on the side of the car when you go into a particular market area.
They have brought a lot of people to this racetrack. Sitting down in front of us in the broadcast booth, a whole bunch of people with hats on under the color of Food City and the numerals on that car that show up very well. Jimmy Spencer is working traffic very, very well tonight.
He is. He's showing patience when he has to. He's being aggressive when he has to.
Dale Jarrett's in the wall in turn 4.
And there's a tire bouncing across the racetrack.
Dale Jarrett, again, we see the fuel burning in the exhaust pipes. The tire comes across the racetrack to the left as the field comes down and takes the checkered flag. And look at him fan out 6-7 wide there at the line.
Takes the caution flag as they come down. Well, Jarrett had a good run going tonight.
Yes, he did. He was in second position and had hoped to make it 2 in a row, but it didn't work out that way. Dale is okay. He's taking the gloves off, but obviously very disappointed.
You know he is. He was running second. And now, I don't know where that tire came from. I wonder if that came off Jarrett's car.
Must have.
He's making some good time.
All the way down to turn 1. The ambulance arrives on the scene, but I think they're going to need it because Dale is taking off the helmet, taking out the earplugs, and will be climbing out of that Citgo Ford in a moment. Meanwhile, the leader, Spencer, is in. Right side rubber going on the car. And it'll be a 4-tire change, and Darrell Waltrip is also in down here at the end of pit road. Bill Elliott brings the Coors Light Ford in.
I saw some smoke in the back of Bill Elliott's car. I wonder what that was. Looked like a tire was rubbing or that coming out the exhaust. I don't know. There is Dale Jarrett. He's not going to make it 3 in a row, Ned.
No, sure isn't. Well, he's had a good week. He, of course, would like to have kept that roll going, winning at Michigan last week, winning here last night in the Busch Grand National Series. But you're right. Won't be 3 in a row.
Hadn't been a bad month for the Jarretts. About, what, 3 or 4 weeks ago, Ned was inducted in International Motorsports Hall of Fame down in Talladega. And then he gets to see his son win his first Winston Cup.
Let's take a look at the replay. This is real time.
Now I'm going to get to see him hit the wall. Looked like the right front tire might have gone down. He keeps it out there against the wall.
Making sure the car doesn't get down into anybody's way. Jerry Punch is with him.
Well, while he has climbed out of the car, jumped the pit wall, talked to Eddie Wood and Dale. What a difference a week makes. A tough fortune here. The car running awfully well. What happened out there?
I don't know if the tire went flat or blew out or something going into turn 3 there. Didn't give any warning. The car was driving good. I was just kind of biding my time and taking it easy. And just blew out going in there. Did the wall a ton. It's a shame his Citgo Ford was running good. And, had a shot to make it 2 in a row, but it's the brakes.
Dale Jarrett from the victory lane. He will exit here early at Bristol with a heavily damaged Citgo Ford. Gentlemen.
Glad to see that he's okay there as the crew is at the scene of the car. The pace car leading the field around with 256 laps completed out of 500. We're under caution for the 5th time tonight at Bristol International Raceway. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. Dale Jarrett's car remains on the racetrack. Dale is okay. The right front is missing. It bounded off the car and ended up down in turn number 1. Now watch from the roof cam. Watch very carefully on the right front of the car, and we think we see the tire rolling off of the car. Maybe a wheel broke. There it goes right there. Now watch the sparks indicating that it's making contact with the racetrack, and then boom, hard contact with the wall.
Yeah, I believe the wheel might have broken down as he came. Maybe the lug pattern broke out the center of the wheel or something of that nature, because we saw the wheel rolling down the racetrack, and there's no wheel on the sit go forward now. So,
well, of course, we saw earlier in the track fact how the crews put glue on the nuts, allowing them to get the tire on the car quickly and get it off quickly. Let's go to John Kernan, who has an update on this situation with this car.
Well, Ernie Irvin's crew, as you can see, got loaded tires from Dale Jarrett. Since Dale is out of the race, they've done the neighborly thing, and they have loaned another Virginia team a set of tires. Now, one other point I wanted to make about Ernie Irvin, he and Ken Schrader are 2 of the 7 cars on the lead lap, but they're the only 2 who are pitting on the backstretch. Ernie was running second when the caution came out because he had to pit here on the backstretch. He is now running 6th, and he'll have to make his way through traffic to get to the front.
Good point. That's the disadvantage of pitting on the backstretch. There is the Jarrett car on the hook, and it's over for Dale Jarrett. Our Western Auto race recap shows that Jimmy Spencer is the leader. He's led 137 of the 250 laps, 4 cautions for 34 laps. We've had 7 lead changes among 6 drivers and the 12,000th lead change in Winston Cup modern day history. Average speed 84.6 miles an hour. Those that have led: Spencer, Darrell Waltrip, Terry Labonte, Michael Waltrip, Rusty Wallace, and Davey Allison. Cars out of the race, only 2 at the moment: Jeff Bodine and Dale Jarrett. Now the Western Auto Mechanic of the Year standings. Larry McReynolds from Davey Allison's crew is on top, 8 points over Tony Glover from Ernie Irvin's crew. Robin Pemberton on Mark Martin's crew is 3rd, then Danny Glad and Kirk Shelmerdine from Dale Earnhardt. Top 5 in the Western Auto Mechanic of the Year standings. They continue to clean the track up in turn number 4, where Dale Jarrett had contact with it. So we'll take another break with 261 laps gone. We'll look at the top 5 here quickly because we are about ready to go to green. Spencer, Kulwicki, Darrell Waltrip, Sterling Marlin, and Bill Elliott. Here they come off of corner number 4. Getting set as we watch from our helicopter hovering over the track. There they are coming out of the 4th turn. The speeds accelerate and the green comes back out on lap 265. Spencer drives away. Alan Kulwicki is 2nd with the 5th car. They're in line now. And here comes Hud Strickland passing him on the inside.
Oh, Hud's almost out of shape. He is out of shape.
And several cars involved. Ernie Irvin hit him pretty hard, but Hud is really the only one that suffered major damage.
Earnhardt's trying to get a lap back as he come back to the flag. Will he pass Spencer? No.
It's close, but he did not do it. Hud Strickland crashes here on the main straightaway and brings out another caution. John Kernan.
Well, the Kodak crew is pushing the car back behind the wall. You can see a lot of front-end damage from where he made contact. They have busted the radiator, broken the radiator, so they're going to have to pull it behind the wall and change the radiator and get Ernie back out in a few laps. But I shouldn't say a few laps. It's going to be a lot of laps before they can get this car fixed and back out on the racetrack.
Ernie hit Hud pretty good just at the end of the crash. Let's look at it again.
We see Hud on the inside. He tries to go on the inside of Mark Martin. Martin doesn't know he's there. Hud goes down, hits the apron, and gets the car out of shape. Almost saves it, but I thought Sterling hit him, but he didn't. He hits the wall, and here comes Ernie, and they meet head on.
Boy, Waltrip was also lucky there. He and Sterling that they got by. From another angle, from our turn 1 camera.
That really bunches them up, and they slow down back there. There's Sterling Marlin barely gets by on the inside, and watch Waltrip as he goes down to the inside.
He hits Elliott or rubs with him a little bit. There's the contact between Ernie Irvan and Strickland.
And Ken Schrader also making a good move, getting by down on the inside.
And Harry Gant just barely got by without making contact.
Heavy front end damage on the Rebestos Buick that performed so well here tonight, as Doyle Ford has the yellow flag out for the 6th time tonight, and Tony Glover and the crew are busy at work back there on Ernie Irvan's car. Here it is, real time from Ernie's in-car camera.
Man, oh man. You know, that's the thing you got to do when there's trouble in front of you. You got to keep your car going straight. You don't have a prayer of missing something if the car's sideways. Ernie Irvan did what he could. He kept the car straight. Unfortunately, all of a sudden there the car is directly in front of him.
Listen at the work going on down there.
That's an air chisel you see in here.
That's why you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in the wind tunnel to get those things perfect aerodynamically.
that's probably a $4,000 wreck at your local body shop.
Jerry Punch is with Hut Strickland.
Hut's still sitting in the car. First of all, Hut, you took a hard lick. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, Jerry. It's just, you know, an unfortunate thing that's had to happen. You know, 2 or 3 cars got together. And, you know, the racetrack's so slick out there. It's just one groove, and you know, you just, when you get out of that groove, it's just nothing you can do.
You can hear the dejection in his voice. He still sits in the car. He will not give up. He would like to be able to get the car fixed. But as you look at the front of the car, the entire front section, the bumper, the grill, and most of the fenders have been pushed away. You see the radiator pushed back in against the engine compartment. I doubt this car is repairable to get back on the track tonight. Tough break for Hut Strickland, guys.
Ernie Irvan and his in-car camera didn't make it through the crash, but now we go inside Lake Speeds. Phillips 66 with the in-car camera and see that he did.
Well, he almost did.
Hit Bill Elliott.
Elliott slowed him down just enough. He was able to get by.
Yeah, nailed Bill pretty good, but no serious damage to that car. But look at the damage on Hut Strickland's machine.
Certainly no damage like that.
And they got a welding torches on that.
Cutting torch trying to cut all that sheet metal, all that metal away so they can put some new stuff on there.
It's a typical Winston Cup race at Bristol International Raceway. Lots of crashing and banging and a lot of good racing too. And we'll be back for more in a moment. Back at Bristol International Raceway. Well, we'll do lunch with Benny a little bit later as the fans are anxious for us to play Buffet Benny this week, which we'll do in a moment. Meanwhile, there is a lot of activity down around the Ford car of Ernie Irvan. It was involved in that crash with Hut Strickland. The crowd rises to its feet as we are set to go back to green on lap number 273.
Let's watch Dale Earnhardt here trying to get his lap back. This is the best opportunity he's had tonight. He's on the inside. He's out front. It's going to turn 1.
And that puts 7 cars now on the lead lap. Earnhardt makes the 7th car on the lead lap. There goes Brett Bodine and Mark Martin by our leader.
Alan Kowicki went awfully high. He was in 2nd place. Now he's in about 4th place just on the first lap. He went very high in turn 3.
Mark Martin is now 2 laps down. He was 3, now 2. Spencer will try to put him 3 laps down again. We'll show you the field summary as we watch the action. Kowicki did back up on the restart. 7 cars on the lead lap as you watch the rest of the standings.
Car right in the middle of the screen, 98. That's your leader, Jimmy Spencer. All these other cars laps down, trying to get their lap back as Mark Martin is trying to get by Earnhardt, and Spencer drives up on the outside. Little contact between Spencer
and he's in the wall.
No,
he holds it.
He holds it. He does a great job and saves that car.
I think he bumped the wall, but he saved it. maintains the lead.
Yep, held on to the lead.
Now Sterling Marlin is second. Here it is again.
Well, he was up on the outside, and Mark Martin just started to come out of the turn up there, and he does hit the wall. Boy, he really got that car crossways. He and Harry Gann are the only ones that get one that far around and still save it.
The wall could have played a part in saving it.
If it hadn't been the wall, he was spun out. The wall hadn't been there, but we see him smoke. As he went in that third corner, I saw some smoke in the front of that car.
Now the 22 car of Sterling Marlin begins to close in on Jimmy Spencer.
And I saw some smoke that time from contact between the 26 and the 98 car.
Yeah, that's what happened that time that caused the smoke. It was the tires rubbing against sheet metal.
Darrell Waltrip, 17, is in third position.
Alan Kowicki has dropped back to fourth. Bill Elliott is fifth. And in sixth place is Kenny Schrader. Those are the only 6 cars that are on the lead lap at this point, except Dale Earnhardt now is back in the lead lap.
Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Let me show you what kind of force these cars are subjected to in the turn. This is the right front tire and wheel that came off the Citgo Ford of Dale Jarrett's. Come on in, guys. The entire center section has been sheared away. The wheel, less than 4 months old, completely destroyed when Jarrett went into turn 4 and the car went head-on into the wall with a violent impact. These guys are under a lot of strain here at Bristol. Bob?
So your speculation was right, Ned. It was a broken wheel there on Dale's car that sent him into the wall.
Yeah, it's too bad, but those things do happen. As Jerry says, there's a tremendous amount of pressure on the tires and the wheels here at Bristol.
Now there goes Harry Gant to the inside, passing Darrell Waltrip. Gant is 2 laps down in 9th position at the moment, and Darrell Waltrip is in 3rd.
Darrell Waltrip is still just sort of biding his time. He didn't win more races here in Bristol than anybody else by getting up there and cramming and bamming in the first 2/3 of the race.
That's exactly right. He has won here at Bristol 11 times.
It's not quite time for Darrell. You're right, Ned. He'll make his charge a little bit later.
25 and 9 cars are battling for position. That's Elliott and Ken Schrader, 66 car, not on the same lap.
25 car also is another car that's been in the pits several times and there's some laps down, but he gets on the inside of Bill Elliott.
Bill slipped
just Ken Schrader is one of the drivers on the lead lap, so he goes on the scoreboard, I think, for the first time tonight. They'll put him up in 5th place if he moves around Elliott. Still side by side. I think you'll get him coming off turn 4, and he does indeed.
With that inside line, Schrader does pick up the spot, and Lake Speed is also following right through. Here comes Terry Labonte now to the inside of Bill Elliott. Labonte 4 laps down in 16th position. He was one of our early leaders. Elliott still way up high on the track.
Tell you what, you get up high and the car is very, very loose up there. We saw Bill go in the corner, get high, and just the car went rear end, almost kicked out from under it. And I apologize to you Schrader fans for saying he was laps down when he, in fact, is in the lead lap. And here's Earnhardt.
Earnhardt and the leader, Jimmy Spencer, in just a whole bunch of traffic, trying to follow Ricky Rudd by Joe Ruttman up on the high side. So despite getting knocked around a few laps ago, Jimmy Spencer continues to lead this race. There's second place Sterling Marlin running with a couple of lap cars, Brett Bodine and Joe Ruttman. Jerry Punch once again.
Gentlemen, most race drivers are pretty superstitious, and when you consider the drivers who got their first ever Winston Cup win here at Bristol, the names are like Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, and Ernie Irvin. So if Jimmy Spencer can hang on, it may bode pretty well for his career in Winston Cup driving, guys.
It certainly could, of course. This is the time where drivers are thinking about next year, trying to re-sign and get fitted up with the team that they want to be with. And performance and a win here tonight by Jimmy Spencer would up his stock a little bit. Earnhardt and Rudd are running together on the racetrack, but they are not on the same lap, as Dale is now on the lead lap, and Ricky Rudd is 2 laps down.
Being shown in the 12th position.
Spencer was trying to get by Rudd, and Earnhardt goes high, and Rudd and the leader also gets by.
I believe he's got a flat tire.
Yeah, I think he has. Got another flat tire. That's what put him a lap down earlier. And now the Goodwrench Chevrolet will come into the pits.
I tell you, this guy has had some really bad luck the last 3 races that has allowed Rudd to close within 69 Winston Cup points. And although Rudd hasn't been particularly strong here tonight, Earnhardt has another misfortune with a flat tire, and here he is.
We saw the NASCAR official tell him to back the car up. He was over the line, and he about backed the car off the jack, or he did roll it off the jack. They had to put the car back under.
It's a good thing somebody's arms weren't under
And look where that burning, where the grease is coming out of the right front. The brakes are so hot that they caught the grease on fire in the right front, and that's what was flaming them.
Good eyes, Benny. You're getting old, but your eyes are still good, I'm telling you.
Especially those plastic things you put over.
You can see that in April, Earnhardt didn't have a very good run here, finished in 20th spot.
But now he's 2 laps down, I believe, according to my calculations. Maybe 3.
And back in 11th right now. Bristol International Raceway is the scene of our live coverage tonight of Winston Cup racing. Back in a moment. Just a little less than 200 laps to go in the Bud 500 Winston Cup race from Bristol. It's Spencer, Marlin, Kulwicki, Darrell Waltrip, and Ken Schrader, the top 5. Our Speed World coverage is being brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Goodyear, the unanimous choice of every NASCAR Winston Cup team. Spencer from Berwick, Pennsylvania, is continuing to lead this race. He has led 190 of the 300 laps. Let's go to Jerry Punch, who has a story on Rusty Wallace.
Well, it's not good news, guys, for the man who won here back in April. Currently 8th in the Winston Cup points. Remember, they had that head-on crash in turn 4. Well, he fixed the car, went back out, but the water came out of the engine while it was sitting in the garage being worked on. And when it went back out, they apparently overheated and cooked the motor. So they are through for the evening. A tough break and a costly race for Rusty Wallace.
So just when you thought you'd go out there and earn some Winston Cup points, you cost yourself a lot of money with a cooked engine, huh?
Exactly, about $25,000 per copy on those engines. And there's our pole sitter, Bill Elliott, going lap down to Spencer.
So now there are 5 cars in the lead lap.
Ken Schrader is the last car on the lead lap as Jimmy Spencer just continues to dominate this thing. There is the leader. We're going to do our pan backs now and show you some of the other cars that are still out there in competition. How about this? King Richard Petty. He is 15th, 5 laps down to the field. Right behind him is Ricky Rudd, and now he passes the King. Rudd is in 11th position at the moment. Second in Winston Cup points. A little bit of racetrack, and then other cars. 22, that's Sterling Marlin. He is in second position in the Maxwell House Ford. And a good run for Sterling all evening long. Right behind him is Harry Gant. In the Skoll car, he is a lap down, 2 laps down, make that in 7th spot.
And then Morgan Shepherd is 2 laps down. There's the red 15, Morgan Shepherd, the Motorcraft Ford. A couple laps down. There's old Rick Mast, the Skoll Classic Oldsmobile. He's in 21st spot. He is 10 laps down to the leader. Hooters Ford, Alan Kulwicki, the next car. And Alan is the, 3rd place car. And this is a race for 3rd place with Darrell Waltrip of Western Auto Chevrolet.
So we'll stay with this just for a minute to see how this shakes out before we resume our field rundown.
Oh, Bill Elliott.
Oh, he's in
the wall hard down in turn 1.
Bill Elliott, the pole sitter, finds himself at the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 2, and the yellow comes out for the 7th time tonight.
And we see Elliott fire the thing up and try to get the car to roll. The left front tire will not roll. See, the car is moving, but the tire's not rolling.
But he might be able to get it back to the pits. Of course, that tire is going to wear out and blow out here in a little bit.
We can see the tire smoking as it drags along on the pavement. And just any time now, it's going to go boom.
The Unocal bonus money goes to $114,000 at the Southern 500 at Darlington next Sunday.
Now the tire started to roll, but
then
it stops again. The car just will not roll anymore.
Elliott brings it to a halt, puts the window netting down, and realizes that his chances of winning are over. Hit the wall pretty good. Here it is from our shot outside of turn number 2. You see made first contact with the rear end.
It looked like the right rear tire might have let go or something. Anyway, the back end just went out from under it all of a sudden and sent him around.
Tow truck has arrived at the back of the car to push him to the pits. There's Alan Kulwicki, who has come in. The Hooters Ford service completed, and out goes Alan.
Also, Sterling Marlin and Darrell Waltrip have been in the pits, and here is Kenny Schrader on the backstretch, changing 4 tires.
And now here comes Jimmy Spencer in for a stop. The leader is in. Jerry Punch can see the action down there at Jimmy's pit.
Well, indeed, they look like they will change all 4 tires, guys. A minute ago, we said that Sterling Marlin and Alan Kulwicki, the second and third place cars, had come in and made a 4-tire stop. Now, Jimmy Spencer's car getting left side tires. Now they have already changed the right side tires on the Food City Chevrolet. Bobby Labonte subbing for Rick Wilson is pitting us in front of Spencer, and Spencer's car off the jack, and he will pull away and hit it down the road. They're reminding the drivers 30 miles per hour, and Spencer now slows abruptly as he heads back to turn 1, while Davey Allison and other cars, Rick Mast, etc., get their 4-tire change here in the pits under caution.
Now you can see those yellow wheels on Darrell Waltrip's car. That's probably from his brother's car.
Yep. I would think so. There had to be some miscommunication between Travis Carter and Jimmy Spencer for him to stay out that extra lap, and he'll have to start behind all those cars that's pitted the lap before him.
Look at Ernie Irvin's car. The doghouse on the front of that machine is gone. Now
and the jack fell.
Yep. A lot of congestion on the backstretch pits. Richard Petty is in, so is Dick Trickle. Now Richard pulls out as Ernie stays in. There is Ted Musgrave pulling out.
Well, he's missing a lot of sheet metal on the car, but he has all the vital parts on it, it looks like, as far as running is concerned. One might wonder, will NASCAR let a car run like that? Yeah, they will let a car run like that as long as there's no dangling pieces. It might fall off. Let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch.
Bill Elliott has climbed out of his damaged Coors Light Ford, and he's looking over in the engine compartment. And Bill, first of all, you took a heck of a lick. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What happened out there?
Blew a right rear tire.
The car, you'd made a lap up running pretty well.
Well, we weren't running that bad, and it got off there a little bit, and we decided we'd stop and change some tires, and then it blew the right rear out.
Well, Bill Elliott here with the crew. They will try to get the car repaired. A very heavily damaged Coors Light Ford sitting here behind pit wall.
Good call, Ned. You speculated, as we saw the replay, that the rear tire blew, and that's exactly what happened. It sent Bill into the wall, bringing out our 7th caution of the evening. Stay with us. We'll be back after this. A look at what's coming up later tonight here on ESPN after our Bud 500. Baseball tonight at 11 o'clock, Sports Center at 11:30, and Speed Week on at midnight tonight. And we've got a lot of things to bring you up to date on at Speed Week tonight. Details of that horrifying crash involving Jeff Brabham at Road America earlier this week. Michael Andretti has made his decision as to what he's going to do next year, and we'll have all kinds of news and highlights in the world of motorsports on Speed Week at midnight Eastern Time tonight. They were going to go green, and they decided not to because Chad Little stopped momentarily down in 1 and 2, but he's going again.
Yeah, he's going again now. He was stopped, but when decision time came, they had to throw the caution again because he was stopped down there, and then just almost momentarily started rolling again. There was a little piece of debris out on the front straightaway. One of the NASCAR officials had come out and picked it up now, but Chad, that battered bullseye barbecue sauce Tyson Ford, is rolling again.
Battered is right, but it doesn't look any worse than most other cars running out there at the moment.
Yeah, you're exactly right. If we looked real close to the leader's car, it probably would look, well, not that bad probably, but similar.
And the leader is Sterling Marlin.
Exactly, and Darrell Waltrip is second, Alan Kulwicki third, Kenny Schrader is fourth, and Jimmy Spencer is fifth. Those are the only cars on the lead lap. A lap down in sixth is Harry Gant. Seventh is Mark Martin. Eighth is Morgan Shepherd. Ninth, Davey Allison. Those cars 2 laps down. There is no car just 1 lap down. And then 3 laps down in 10th position is Ricky Rudd.
And 11th is Dale Earnhardt. And 12th is the 8 car being driven by Bobby Labonte. 13th is Brett Bodine. He's 4 laps down. And 14th is Chad Little that we saw there just a moment ago. He also is 4 laps down. And Richard Petty, 15th place, 5 laps behind.
And the lights on top of the pace car are out. We should be going back to race conditions here in just a moment. 322 laps have been completed. The crowd is still just as enthusiastic as it was at 7:30 when we began. Green is out. And somebody gets a black flag immediately. I don't know who it was, but somebody got a black flag. Ricky Rudd and Dale Earnhardt both get out in front of the leader and get one of their laps back, one of their 3 laps back.
Darrell Waltrip has taken the lead.
The 66 car, we understand, is the
and
one
there's
that got
trouble. The 8 car, Bobby Labonte, has spun coming off of turn 4.
No caution yet. No caution.
Yeah, he's going again.
It was at the back of the field. Nobody else involved. The car is rolling, and the green stays out. Bobby Labonte in substitution for an ill Rick Wilson.
And Dale Earnhardt and Ricky Rudd was hoping there would be a caution since they're in front of the leader.
Here's a replay of the Labonte spin.
Back end just goes around on him. Brett Bodine just by on the outside, so does several other cars.
While all that was happening, we had a change of leader as Darrell Waltrip had the team command. Remember, I told you that he told us that before the race he was going to cruise for 300 laps. It's now 326. Darrell is in the lead.
Slips a little right there. Sterling Marlin gets on the inside of him.
Not anymore.
And takes the lead. And here comes Harry Gant.
Ooh, a crash here on the main straightaway. Dick Trickle is in the wall.
And the caution flag waves once again.
So Dale Earnhardt and Ricky Rudd both got one of their 2 laps back.
One of their 3 laps
3
back.
laps, I beg your pardon.
Yep.
Right. Well,
there's Dick Trickle, the Team 3 racing machine that is against the inside wall here on the main straightaway. And once again, our pace is slowed by a crash. The 8th time the caution has waved tonight. This probably is not going to be a lengthy yellow because I don't think there's much to clean up. And Trickle is going to get that car headed in the right direction and will resume. But we will take another break as the caution light winks on and off here at Bristol. ESPN Speed World tonight at Bristol International Raceway in Northeast Tennessee for the Bud 500. And the field is behind the pace car once again as Dick Trickle spun and tapped the wall down here on the main straightaway. And we take a look at it from Ernie Irvin's in-car camera.
Comes off turn 4, and it looks like maybe he and Michael Waltrip made contact there.
Yeah, I believe they did, and just sent him around. And now the wrecker pushing the Team 3 Pontiac back into the pits on the backstretch.
The car just won't run.
I'm sure Ernie was saying, oh, no, not again, because he, of course, was involved in a crash earlier tonight that knocked the front end off the car, but he's still out there. Still under caution, so we will get our commercial breaks in here and bring you live green flag action when we come back. Here they come for the green flag. Perfect timing. Sterling Marlin leads the race.
Darrell Waltrip going awfully high there, losing a couple of spots on the racetrack.
He's second. Alan
Darrell
Kowicki
really going high again.
Darrell has a flat tire, it looks like. He's off the pace. Well, his plan was good, Ned.
Yep.
He figured, but he didn't figure on a flat tire.
It's like the left front may be down. Meanwhile, Marlin now leads. Second place is Alan Kowicki. Third is Jimmy Spencer. Fourth, Ken Schrader. And then Waltrip. Those cars on the lead lap. Let's go down to Jerry Punch, who's in Darrell's pit.
Well, the man who won 7 in a row here back in the early 80s having a tough night here at Bristol, Tennessee. A right side tire going down, and they are going to hold him also 15 seconds in the pits for too fast on pit road. And now he is able to go, but the leader is now coming off turn 4, and he will lose another lap here on pit road, gentlemen.
They should put him 2 laps down, Jerry.
Tough break for Darrell Waltrip. Sterling Marlin had that fiery crash here at Bristol in April, but now is in the lead and could pull off his first Winston Cup victory here tonight. Jimmy Spencer has led most of this race, looking for his first Winston Cup win, and now Sterling Marlin is in the top spot looking for win number 1. Jeff Plyler of Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, is probably a little bit happy right now.
Why is that?
Well, he was watching ESPN and knew that Jimmy Spencer was leading at the halfway point, and they called him, and he won a Pontiac Grand Prix SE.
I bet he's happy as well. Congratulations. Roanoke Rapids over on I-95 in North Carolina.
34-year-old Jeff Plyler, congratulations. In the right guard halfway challenge, and all of us here at ESPN are watching. Bobby Hamilton got a little squirrely coming off the second corner.
Hey, car on the move is Mark Martin moving around Harry Gant there. Mark made up one of his laps on that last caution. Would like to move up and what's he, 4 laps down now?
2
laps down.
He's in 5th position. 2 laps down.
Okay. So he'd like to move around Sterling Marlin and make up that one more lap that he's down. He's 2 laps behind right now.
And he's got a good race car, Ned. We noticed about 100 laps ago that he was in front of Jimmy Spencer and was actually not losing any ground to him. He's about the only car all night that really and truly has been running the same speed. Ooh, he almost loses control. He consistently has been running as fast as Jimmy Spencer. That's Spencer, where is Spencer?
He's behind us.
He's in 3rd place. See back there, there's Alan Wicky, who's running 2nd, and then Spencer in the 3rd position.
Well, Spencer's got to have a problem. I mean, all of a sudden, he was on Wicky's back bumper just a few laps ago, and he's falling back. So evidently, Spencer is looking for some trouble.
He isn't running as fast as he was, no doubt about that.
Well, that miscommunication that cost him when he didn't come in the pits on the first time the pits were open on the last caution. And he lost 4 positions. He might have a tire going down. We understand that he is reporting that the car is sliding a little more than usual, and he might have a tire going down. And we also understand that Davey Allison thinks he might have a tire going down. We had a report a little bit ago that he might be leaking some fluid, but he's seen Davey Allison I'm talking about. He's running okay out there, even though he's several laps down. He's showing 8th place.
Some smoke out of Spencer's car that time.
Yeah, I noticed it last lap.
Smoke this time, but let's watch him as we go in turn 1. Looks like it's coming out of the left rear. I don't know if it's tires, rubber the quarter panel, exactly what it is.
Benny, we have, when he and Mark Martin got into it, it's been a while now. Spencer led the race quite a bit after that, but he did hit the wall, and he thinks that his rear end might have been bent on the car, and it might be bent enough to be getting a little rubbing there.
Yeah, he might have pushed the rear end housing over against that left rear quarter panel, and that's what the smoke we see is. Here comes Darrell Waltrip.
Since going in for a tire change, Waltrip has been very quick, but he is 2 laps down.
Still got those yellow wheels on.
Yep.
With his brother Michael. Michael don't need any tires. He's not running very fast out there, so he's trying to make up laps. He wrecked early in the race.
Michael is 29th. About 148 laps behind.
So he won't win tonight. Is that what you're saying?
Chances are he will not. That's correct.
Now, if everybody else will quit now, he could win. Just not enough laps.
Jimmy Spencer's best career finish was 3rd. That came earlier this year at North Wilkesboro. They're the cars that are out of the race. Most of them because of crashes or as the result of crashes. Nobody has been injured here tonight. Despite the fact that we've had 8 caution periods.
And here the 6-car Mark Martin is still trying to get that lap back. He was on the back bumper of Sterling Marlin just a couple of laps ago. Now Marlin has a big advantage, 1 car length.
Big advantage. They don't look so big to Sterling when he looks in the rearview mirror.
Second place car, Alan Kowicki, has caught this group of 6 were running by themselves, and now Kowicki has caught them.
He's running pretty good. You see some damage on the Hooters Ford. As I say, damage on about every car out there.
As a matter of fact, when Sterling Marlin was leading the race, and I said that a moment ago, I didn't notice, but the grill's been knocked out of the leader's car, 22.
Caution, Rick Mast into the wall.
Mast going slowly down the back.
And Martin trying to get his lap back. Here's Mark Martin. He slides up around Sterling Marlin.
He does. That's only one, though, of the two that he needs to get back on the lead lap. So
And Jimmy Spencer is slow. Jimmy Spencer is slow coming off turn 4.
And the pits are closed.
He can't come in. The pits are closed.
Well, he's coming in anyway.
Yep, he drives right under the flag that is being displayed by the crewman down there. The NASCAR official
had no choice.
Well, the car is shut off, and he just radios that the throttle linkage broke. And there's smoke pouring from inside the car. He said he had no accelerator pedal at all, and apparently he shut it off to make sure that he wouldn't over-rev it. And apparently they are going to bring the car back around behind pit wall. The leaders make their way on the pit road. The 7 and 22 here pitting in front of Jimmy Spencer. They were getting right side tires and now left side tires for the Maxwell House Ford and Sterling Marlin. The same likewise being done to Alan Kwiatkowski's Hooters Ford. So both of the Ford cars getting 4 tires. Meanwhile, Jimmy Spencer's Food City Chevrolet has the hood up. He sits in the car, and it has been a good afternoon, a good evening for Spencer, but apparently they're having difficulties now. They're working in the area of the throttle linkage where it hooks the left side of the carburetor. Now, let's listen to what they're doing.
Really couldn't hear what they were saying, and I think we're probably just as well off that we did hear what they were saying.
Because there's nothing cool under that. Everyone's burning their fingers trying to work on that car.
Kenny Schrader comes in. Now he goes out. And here is Rick Mast's crash, the reason that we are under caution.
This is for our camera in turn 2. Once again, it looks like that the right front tire lost air, and Richard Petty makes contact as Mast comes off the wall.
Tagged him just a tad.
Well, that thing headed right for the wall again as probably a tire went down on the Rick Mast car. There he is, though. He's out of the car, and Rick is okay. Back in a moment. Around the world, around the year, with over 1 million miles of award-winning auto racing coverage. ESPN Speed World at Bristol, Tennessee tonight on a beautiful Saturday night with nearly a full moon showing over Bristol International Raceway. Now, Jimmy Spencer came in, is still in the pits. Jerry, what is the problem?
Well, you talk about keeping the pedal to the metal, that sort of lingo they use in racing. Let me show you what happened. Jimmy Spencer broke the linkage, the Heim joint. This is part of the linkage that goes from the carburetor to the accelerator pedal. This screws into the side of the carburetor linkage. This is the Heim joint attachment that goes toward the firewall. He had his foot so hard on it, apparently the vibration and force here at Bristol just sheared it off. They are in the car now. Charlie McKay and the crew trying to repair it, but he has lost a lot of laps here in the pits, and Jimmy Spencer will not win his first one tonight at Bristol.
He can carry his head high, however, after this race, because as you can see, he led 204 of the 358 laps here tonight. Well, a lot of spectators now waving to the cameras. Hey, the empty plate means only that Benny Parsons was somewhere in the area. Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen many buffet Bennies before this year, but you have never seen one like this one. Watch this.
I'm tired. I'm hot. I'm hungry. I'm ready. Man. What? Give me a bump.
Looks like my kind of place.
Hi.
You made it, huh?
Yes.
Wow. Southern hospitality.
News travels fast on the river, doesn't it?
Well, it certainly does.
What we eat in here?
Well, we've got all kinds of stuff for you here. We've got what you're eating here is beef enchiladas with refried beans and rice. We've got nachos here, beef nachos.
I've heard of those.
Yeah,
Don't
those
come
little green
bad.
things are fun. We've got chili con queso here. It's a cheese dip to dip your chips in. This is a beef chimichanga. And then over here.
Never mind. Dennis want to eat? Hey, it's been a long paddle, you know.
Enjoy.
Well, maybe this is going to give us enough energy to get down the river. And thank you, Chucky Trading Company, for a wonderful lunch. It was delicious. One last bite. Shall we go, Dennis? I think it's about that time. Boy, was that good. I'm ready to go again now. Trust the boat waiting. Yes, sir, buddy, I'm ready now. Oh.
That thing would not float an inch with Benny in it. We just went green. It's lap 364, and Alan Kowicki is out front in the Bud 500.
Bob, a special thanks to Cherokee Adventures for providing us with the rubber raft to go down the river, and it was a lot of fun.
Was that really you coming down those Great Five Rapids?
Sure was. Yes, it was.
Man, oh,
that was a lot of fun.
So
Alan Kowicki, now our leader, passed the 22 car of Sterling Marlin just as they took the green flag, and he's off and running.
Darrell Waltrip 2 laps down, trying to get one of them back here. He's right behind the leader.
And Ricky Rudd is right out in front of the leader. He is back now within 1 lap. He has fallen from 3 laps down to 1.
Sterling Marlin is second. Third is Schrader. Fourth, Mark Martin. And fifth now is Rudd. Look at this. 6 drivers who won in 1990, had at least one win in 1990, have not won in 1991, and the current leader, Alan Kowicki, is among them.
Well, Darrell Waltrip wants to get in front of and get one of his laps back. That unscheduled pit stop.
Oh, Harry Gant spins coming off turn 2 and goes down and makes some contact with the wall.
And Ricky Rudd will get his lap back. Darrell Waltrip won't. Rudd will get one of his laps back.
Well, this is run 3-4 laps and have another spin or crash.
Harry Gant and Morgan Shepherd make some contact over in turn 2. And Harry went around.
This is getting to be a little ridiculous. Here is a replay.
Mark Martin was up on the outside of Dale Earnhardt, but Morgan Shepherd runs in and taps Harry Gant on the left rear quarter panel just enough to get him spinning. That was coming off of turn 2 and down to the inside retaining wall.
We also saw the 28 cars, Harry Gant trying to get the car going. We saw the 28 car going through turn 1, smoking out the exhaust pipe like he had an engine problem. And we see him with a hood up on the car as we speak.
Yeah, he was in with a lot of smoke from during that last caution, Ben. And we reported a while back that he perhaps had some fluid leaking from his Haviland Ford. So Davey Allison does continue to have problems here tonight.
Allison third in Winston Cup points, certainly within striking distance of Dale Earnhardt, 137 points behind.
That green hose we see, that's water hose that they're over trying to spray the radiator, spray the engine down, trying to cool something down so they can work on it.
A hot Haviland Ford under Davey Allison here at Bristol International Raceway. Back with more of the Bud 500 in just a moment. Bristol International Raceway is the scene of our ESPN Speed World coverage tonight of the Bud 500. Under caution for the 10th time tonight because of this in turn number 2.
Right in the middle of the screen, the green and white car, the Skull Bandit, and the 15 car, the red car, Morgan Shepherd, makes contact off turn 2. Harry spins, goes down and hits the wall. Now, it doesn't look like it's that hard, but he has taken the Skull Bandit behind the wall, and they're working on the car.
We'll go green in one more lap. We'd like to remind you that at 7:55 tomorrow morning Eastern Time, not too long from now, as a matter of fact, we'll have live coverage of the Belgian Grand Prix from Spa-Francorchamps. Again, Ayrton Senna McLaren driver will have the pole position when they get the green flag tomorrow with John Bizignano, Bob Varsha, and David Hobbs. Live at 7:55 tomorrow morning Eastern Time.
I understand that Davey Allison might have a head gasket blown on the Haviland Ford. We saw that smoke coming from it a little bit ago. Hope that race will get over with quick so we can get in our annual ESPN golf tournament tomorrow down at Roan Valley Golf Course at Mountain City, Tennessee.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to join you, but have a good time.
Or fortunately, yes.
Yeah, or
we've seen you play golf before, Bob.
You wouldn't want me there, I'll tell you. Here's the green. We're back to racing. Darrell Waltrip is only one lap down. Now he's back on the lead lap.
That's the leader, Alan Kowicki in the orange and white 7:22. Here's the car that's running stop. And we saw Jimmy Spencer, if you're familiar with the Washington telecast, we saw him go by the speed shop. He's back in the race. They fixed that accelerator.
Well, he's some 6 laps behind, being shown in 14th position.
Sterling Marlin staying within 2-3 car lengths of the leader, Alan Kowicki. Ken Schrader is third, followed by Mark Martin, who's a lap down, and Ricky Rudd, who's a lap down. Only 3 cars on the lead lap.
Bob, I think Darrell Waltrip is still one more lap down. He was 2 laps down.
Okay.
And has gotten one of those back now, at least as long as he stays out in front of Alan Kowicki.
There is Davey Allison, who has returned to the racetrack. We'll get an update on his situation from Jerry Punch.
Well, Davey's certainly not running up to speed, and they will probably be bringing him back down pit road momentarily. They apparently have either a blown head gasket or a crack in the block. They have gone to get some liquid glass, which they use as a sealer, and they now are black flagging Davey Allison. They have posted his number and will wave the black flag as he comes by to bring him on the pit road, thinking he may be losing some fluid or some water on the track, as Allison does show some smoke going into turn 1. What a break for Davey Allison.
Well, I tell you, that racetrack is slicking up without getting some extra fluid on the track. And look at the smoke now beginning to boil a little bit heavier as he heads into the pits.
Alan Kowicki from Greenfield, Wisconsin is the leader of the race, looking for his first win of 1991. His best finish has been a second at Pocono. There's second place, Sterling Marlin. That's the interval between the two. Alan stretches out the lead a little bit.
Currently, the third place car is Kenny Schrader.
Kenny has not been up there battling for the lead tonight, but he has stayed in the lead lap all night. He's just been out there circling this racetrack, running a good, smart race, and as a result finds himself one of 3 cars in the lead lap.
Here's a 6-car Mark Martin and the 5 of Ricky Rudd. This is for position.
They are both a lap down, but they are battling for the 4th spot.
Dale Earnhardt is back in 8th spot, so they both can pick up a few points on Earnhardt. Though we see Earnhardt behind Rudd, but he is in 8th place, a lap down to Rudd and Martin.
While we watch that, Alan Kowicki moves around Darrell Waltrip and puts Waltrip 2 laps down once again.
There they are, that out of the second turn.
See him on the left of your screen. Kowicki has also run a very smart race here tonight. He got a lap down early in the race when he had a flat tire, an unscheduled stop, but worked hard and got it back.
There we see Mark Martin on the inside of Morgan Shepherd trying to get by. He makes it by. There comes Rudd. Tell you what, the floodgates are open when you get on the outside.
There's Bobby Hillen down on the inside the track. Darrell Waltrip coming back in the pits. Hillen, after crashing earlier, back out on the track. And Darrell Waltrip coming in for an unscheduled pit stop. Maybe another flat tire. We'll see.
Waltrip brings the Western Auto Chevy to a halt. We'll see if they replace those yellow rims with some other ones. Here comes the leader.
Now that's 3 laps he'll be down. He's already down 2.
Waltrip down on the jacks, and off he goes again. Rims aren't yellow, they're black.
They're still yellow on the left side, because we only changed 2 tires.
Kowicki just went around Bobby Hillen. You talk about being laps down. Hillen is 222 laps behind.
222. But he could probably place in front of the 11 car if he does finish the rest of the race. Because Jeff O'Neill, I don't think they're trying to fix the car to get that car back in the event.
It was a right front that went down on Darrell Waltrip's car. That's the reason he came in for a pit stop and went another lap down. The leader is Alan Kowicki. And we'll be back with more of the Bud 500 after this. Chad Little, the Bullseye Ford, has brought out our 11th caution of the evening. He spun over in turn 2. The leader, Sterling Marlin, is in for a pit stop.
He was the second place car. Kowicki, the leader, chose not to come in the pits. So, but Sterling Marlin did. He has a Maxwell House Ford. Changes 4 tires.
Probably didn't have the stagger set up on that car that he wanted. He was losing ground to Alan Kowicki.
And here's the Chad Little car. As we say, as we're watching the crash, he goes in the corner and he doesn't blow a tire.
I think he got blue stuff.
Yep.
Just lost control, could never get it back, and spun her out.
Ken Schrader is in. John Kernan is there.
Schrader and company already in the middle of a 4-tire change. Ken was running third. He's been having some problems on the restart. You may have noticed that he's fallen back. Talked to Richard Bird, the crew chief. He says there's really no problem. And now he's 4 tires and he stalls the engine. Crew will have to push him to get a refire. They finally get a refire, and Kenny is away.
Schrader has the car going again. Now our Big A Auto Parts on-track mineral. This, of course, was under green before the crash. We timed Kowicki and Schrader on 5 consecutive laps, 377 to 381. You'll notice that Kowicki was 1.9 seconds ahead of Schrader on lap 377, and it went up to 4.2, 16.9 seconds there on lap 378 for Allen.
Yeah, but you can see that 18.3 for Schrader. That means that he ran across some traffic because the race car driver just doesn't slow down 0.8 of a second in 1 lap. So that's why he ran across some traffic. That's why that 18.3 is in.
Well, we will go green before too much longer. Alan Kowicki will have the top spot when we go back to action here at Bristol. Sports Center at 11:30. Baseball tonight at 11 o'clock, right after our Bud 500 Winston Cup race here at Bristol. We have just gone back to green. Alan Kowicki continues to lead. There's the 22 car of Sterling Marlin. That is second position. And running with him, Dale Earnhardt and Jimmy Spencer. Right now up front, ahead of Kowicki is Ricky Rudd, getting a lap back. Now there's the 9 car of Bill Elliott, and he looks like he's ready to go back into action.
He's been behind the wall quite a while, but after hitting the wall, after a right rear tire went flat on him.
I guess they decided to dispense of the hood. Ricky Rudd got the jump on Alan Kowicki on the start a little bit ago. Kowicki looks like he's a little bit faster, but can't get by Rudd.
Rudd is back on the lead lap.
Boy, there's some real hot action right here as Mark Martin right behind the car number 98 of Jimmy Spencer. Now smoke coming from Jimmy Spencer's car quite a bit that time, but he's still running hard.
It looked like engine smoke that time.
It sure did.
I don't know.
It might be tire smoke, blue smoke there.
Spencer is 12th after leading most of the laps here tonight. Broke a throttle linkage. 98 car may be laying down some fluid out there.
It might be. Notice Darrell Walton's going high back there behind him. He's probably trying to avoid. He thinks that he's putting down some oil, trying to go high above it. But Spencer's still running good, though.
Yeah,
more speed around the racetrack.
Less than 100 laps to go now in this 500 lapper.
Up front, Alan Kowicki is putting that lap back on Ricky Rudd. Rudd couldn't get the caution he needed. He was back in the lead lap for a moment. Ooh, they're still running close.
And now Spencer gets around Earnhardt. He gave him a little bit of a tap there.
That was the second time they passed and done that in the last 5 laps.
Here comes Mark Martin trying to go by on the outside of Earnhardt. He's able to get by. There's Morgan Shepard and Darrell Walton. All these fellows going by that Goodwrench Chevrolet.
Earnhardt is 6th on the field.
Well, let's
watch the little love tap that Jimmy gave Dale.
Yeah, it was up on the outside just a little bit.
And now the 5 and the 7 have been exchanging paint.
Ooh, we see Kowicki working on that steering wheel, trying to keep that car going straight.
Now, Sterling Marlin has cost them that set of tires he came in and put on. Now he moves around Ricky Rudd, so he has nothing but a little bit of daylight between he and The car number 7, car number 8 having a problem is
Bobby Labonte in relief of Rick Wilson. Slow down the backstretch, now into turn 3.
And he heads down pit road, and it does look like the car's under power.
He was in the top 10, as a matter of fact, was 9th, so not a bad run for Bobby Labonte here, but he stops in the Snickers pit now and will get tires on the right side.
Apparently a flat for him.
I guess the car engine was running.
Sterling Harlan beginning to close in on Alan Kowicki, our leader. Jerry Punch has a report on Bobby Labonte's pit stop.
Well, apparently Bobby Labonte did cut a right side tire down when he brushed the wall just a lap or so ago, so they changed right side tires. And gentlemen, while I have it, we might mention that car number 98 of Jimmy Spencer is having some smoke come out the left side exhaust intermittently. I spoke with Travis Carter, who said, we see the smoke, we don't really know what it is. Spencer has not commented. He said the car is still running awfully well, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed we can make it another 89 laps.
Well, Jerry, as you were saying, that Spencer slowed dramatically, and he's headed for you in pit road.
And Bobby Labonte coming back in the pits, going behind the wall this time.
Meanwhile, Earnhardt and Mark Martin are working together on the racetrack. I'm not so sure that it's a harmonious relationship, but they are running together.
Right on the back of Mark Martin's car.
The two guys who battled for the Winston Cup in 1990 have found each other on the racetrack. Martin, of course, not in the points battle at the moment, although he is only 189 behind Earnhardt in 5th position in the Winston Cup standings. There's a last lap speed, 112.65. Now remember, the pole speed here turned in by Bill Elliott was 116.9. So they're about 4 miles an hour slower than the pole speed.
That's still pretty fast as they barrel down these corners at 120 miles per hour. There's Joe Ruttman going in the pits, the Dinner Bell Oldsmobile.
Alan Kowicki now beginning to pull away a little bit from Sterling Marlin. Marlin had closed in, but Alan opening it up a little bit.
I bet Kowicki's sitting there praying, please, no more caution flag. Let's just keep everything going. Let's get this race over with. Go to victory lane. Of course, it's a week too late for Alan Kowicki. He was on the pole last week at Michigan. Could have picked up the win with probably $150,000. It would have been worth. Wrong week.
Dale Earnhardt slowed again going into turn 1. Don't know if he just moved down and let Morgan Shepherd and Darrell Waltrip go by. I think that's what happened.
There's Waltrip and Morgan Shepherd. Shepherd is 7th and Waltrip is 8th, but they're not on the same lap.
Right, lap separates them.
Jerry Punch has a report on a never say die attitude being shown here tonight.
Guys, you got to give a call to the Snickers crew behind me. Pete Wright, the crew chief, Kenny Wilson. Now, Bobby Labonte is in the car, and they cut a right front tire and tagged the wall. You see, the tire is actually towed out. It should be pointing straight ahead. Instead, it's turned out, and they have brought the car behind the wall. They will make an adjustment and try to get young Bobby Labonte back out. They're not going to say die, guys. These guys are going to race before the night's over.
Well, we've seen that many, many times tonight. We saw it from the Kodak crew as Ernie Irvin was involved in a crash, but they did a lot of cutting and sawing and getting repairs made, and Ernie is back out there on the track, and he is in 20th position. And there's the 30 car of Michael Waltrip, also in that same situation. Many, many laps down, but still out there trying to move up as many positions as possible, allowing them to gain the Winston Cup points. And there's Hut Strickland.
You see the nose has gone off the 12 car. Well, he and the 4 met head on, and both they're riding around with no front ends on either of the cars.
And another one in that category. Hey, Bill Elliott's got those yellow rims on. He's borrowing from maybe Michael too, huh?
He probably borrowed some from Darrell, some used tires.
And the 42 car, we told you, 222 laps behind is Bobby Hill.
That car hit hard enough to be destroyed.
Yeah, I was concerned about Bobby's health, but sure as in the world, he's back on the racetrack, 31st.
Not only interested in driver points, but car owner points as well.
Alan Kowicki continues to lead the race in the Hooters Ford. A win would help him perhaps secure other major sponsorship for 1992.
And he is pulling away from Sterling Marlin every lap.
And there are 75 laps to go. We have reached 425.
Ken, I hear that, I realize this is off the subject. We're not seeing it on the screen, but I hear that Jeff Bodine may drive for Bud Moore in the 15 car next year.
That rumor was pretty heavy in the pits today, and that Morgan Shepherd might go to the 21 car of the Wood brothers.
There's Darrell Waltrip still working hard, still trying to move toward the front, still trying to get back on the lead lap that would get him back in contention. And there is the interval between Darrell and the leader. Darrell is 3 laps down. Back in a moment. Alan Kulwicki leads the Bud 500 from Bristol International Raceway in Northeast Tennessee with less than 70 laps to go. Reached lap number 434.
It looks like he put on cruise control.
Yeah, he's.
He got him about a 4 or 5 second lead, and that's good.
Well, actually, it's just about 2.5 seconds, Benny. We look down on the racetrack, and it's a pretty good distance, but as fast as they go around this racetrack, it's not all that much in seconds.
And if history repeats itself, as it has here earlier tonight, we're going to see probably more cautions before this race is over, and anything can happen. Davey Allison is out of the race. He's with Jerry Punch.
Bobby's out momentarily, but they're trying to get the car fixed behind us. Davey, what's the problem?
Well, all of a sudden the car started overheating. It's a shame. Our Texaco Havoc Krispy Kreme Thunderbolt was really running good tonight, but we had gotten several laps down. We'd made up all but one of them. Thought we were going to get it back, and all of a sudden the water temperature gave snagged out. Evidently the racetrack where it's been coming up has got the radiator plugged up. I guess it's either cracked the head or blown a head gasket.
Well, Davey will be able to get back in. That's why he's keeping the helmet on, folks. He's trying to get back in. Remember, he is only 68 points out of second place behind Ricky Rudd and Dale Earnhardt. So he will try to get the Havoc Ford back on the track.
That's right. There are the point standings in the quest for the Cup, and Allison is only 137 behind the leader. Did I subtract that right, Benny?
Well, you had the thing right there written in front of your face. I could probably read it.
Kulwicki leads.
There's Bobby Labonte's back out. We saw Kulwicki just go by him.
Ted Musgrave in the number 55 car is still out there. Let's see, where is his 16th? About 11 laps behind, but Ted Musgrave is still out there battling for the Rookie of the Year honors. And you can see that he only has a 3-point advantage on Bobby Hamilton in the rookie points. Wally Dallenbach is third in the standings. Stanley Smith and Rich Bickle are 4th and 5th. So that rookie battle is really tight. Not so tight as far as the manufacturer's points are concerned, as Chevrolet with 10 wins has a rather commanding lead on the Ford products, who have won 5 times this year than Pontiac Oldsmobile. But Alan Kulwicki in a Ford is the leader of this race. Now, right at the beginning of the program, remember we showed you how this is a Chevrolet racetrack. You guys talked about how Chevy has dominated this racetrack in the past few years, but a Ford is leading tonight.
Ford's running 1-2, as a matter of fact. And here is Bobby Hamilton. We saw a graphic just a moment ago. He's second in the rookie point standings behind Ted Musgrave. And right now, he is 1 position ahead of Musgrave on the racetrack, so he could gain on Musgrave's lead.
Now, rookie points are accumulated only as a guide to the final vote that is taken by a panel. So just because you win the Rookie of the Year point standings doesn't automatically give you the Rookie of the Year title, but that's the way it's worked out for most of the years. Bobby Hamilton, car number 68, 15th position.
Country Time Oldsmobile.
9 laps down. There's the Phillips 66 in-car camera riding alongside Lake Speed, who is 12th in the serial scoring tonight.
It's Ernie Irvin in the Kodak film, the Chevrolet directly in front of Lake as he comes off the corner and goes into the light.
Jimmy Spencer is all over Alan Kulwicki as Jimmy tries to get a lap back.
Well, and Alan's going to do it. I started to say his spotter should tell him, let him go, because he's 6 laps down. Don't fool with him.
And
Allen does.
Has a rather comfortable advantage on Sterling Marlin. The length of the straightaway separates the two, so that was a good move by Alan Kowicki just to let it go. Boy, we are set up here for an exciting finish as Marlin may be closing in now on Alan Kowicki with less than 60 laps to go.
Now, he let the 98 car go by. The 6 car, Mark Martin, is closing in, and Ned, I tell you what, he don't want that car to go by, because if he lets him go by, he's going to be back in the lead lap.
Yep, and that's the car that he'll definitely have to contend with if another caution should come out.
Mark Martin is 4th, and he is a lap down, trying to get it back here in the late going at the Budweiser 500. 50 laps to go. Back in a moment. Welcome back to Bristol International Raceway in Northeast Tennessee. Live coverage tonight of the NASCAR Bud 500 Winston Cup race in its closing stages right now. Our Speed World coverage is being brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is One Tough Motor Oil. And by GMC Trucks. It's not just a truck anymore, it's quality on the road.
I tell you what, Kowicki a moment ago made a mistake when he let Spencer go by, because he's holding him up now, Ned.
Yes, he is, and Mark Martin is there just knocking on the door, wanting to get back in the lead lap. And Kowicki has really stepped up his pace a little bit now, trying to get back around. More than get around Spencer, just trying to hold Mark Martin off, but he needs to get around Spencer to do that.
Still smoke coming from the left side of that Food City car. Now Kowicki does go by him, but Mark Martin is threatening to also.
Yep, and they get together. Yes, they do. And boy, I'll tell you, that could be dangerous.
Uh-oh.
And they touched some more. They had touched earlier in the race, and this might not be over yet. Well, maybe it is now.
Darrell Waltrip, the 3rd car there, as he also tries to go to the inside of Jimmy Spencer, and Spencer is going to get the black flag.
Yes, he is.
Spencer's been black flagged because of his actions on the racetrack in that little skirmish with Mark Martin.
Maybe it's for that smoke.
Maybe it is.
But I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
That thing's been smoking a lot longer than he was pounded on Mark Martin.
And that time Doyle Ford pointed the finger at him and said, "You, that's the one that we're talking about."
Yeah, they'll stop scoring him if they give him the black flag consistently, and he doesn't heed it, but he's going to. Spencer drops down to the apron of the racetrack and comes in. Little penalty box action here.
Yep, that's for sure.
His is the first pit up toward turn number 4, just a stop and go. But boy, the stop and go means a lot of track position.
Well, he was already 8 laps down, but he still was being shown in 13th position.
There's Kowicki. Cruising to victory here tonight.
I started to say Spencer was going to come out right where he was, but he came out a little bit behind Mark Martin.
Now here is the little meeting that Jimmy and Mark had on the track.
They go up. Mark comes off the corner, goes up the racetrack, and they touch. Right. And then Spencer goes in and says, "Hey, I didn't appreciate you hitting me like that." And NASCAR, unfortunately for Jimmy Spencer, are seeing the same pictures we're seeing.
I think it was that second little one that got him.
Yeah, Spencer didn't do anything wrong coming off the second turn over there when they were going down the backstretch.
More on this from Jerry Punch.
Hey, and guys, in football, that would be 15 yards. Unnecessary roughness, but that's what they call it here in racing. They brought him in for a stop-and-go penalty, and really, it didn't make him a happy camper at all. You saw him leave the pit.
Now Mark Martin moves over and lets Darrell Waltrip go by on the outside.
Let's see, Waltrip is 3 laps down.
Yep, in 8th position.
And you know, Ned, we talked about Darrell Waltrip earlier. Right now, he has a car capable of winning the race, but he didn't figure on the flat tires, and he's 3 laps down.
Yep. There are only 3 cars on the lead lap. The leader, Alan Kowicki, 2nd place, Sterling Marlin, and 3rd place, Ken Schrader.
And right behind the 6th car that just went out of your picture is the 98 car of Jimmy Spencer. There he is.
Right back on the racetrack where he was before he was pulled into the pits. He won't do anything. He won't mess with you now. Alan Kowicki has a 7-second lead right now over Sterling Marlin, who is in second place.
31 laps to go. And we see Kowicki just move over and tell Darrell Waltrip to go by. Now, does he want Martin to go by?
I don't think he does, but maybe he moved down too much. No.
Yeah, he's trying to race with Martin.
Because Martin, if he gets back up there, as we've said before, he would be back in the lead lap. And if a caution should come out, that's another car that he'd have to race. And it'd be another fast car, too, because Martin has already made up at least 2 laps tonight.
I'm impressed with Kowicki's spotter. He's keeping him abreast of exactly what's going on with those cars around him.
Checking the interval between first and second. Here comes Sterling. Boom, 6.3.
Yeah, it was 7 by my stopwatch a few laps ago, but that traffic or the move over that Alan did to let Darrell Waltrip go by let Sterling pick up about 3/4 of a second. We'll try it again.
Yeah, about the same. Maybe a tick of a watch for separation. This is Alan Kowicki's 12th start here at Bristol. His best finish was back in 1989. At this race, he finished second. His best finish this year was at Richmond on the short track, where he finished 5th in only the 2nd race of the year. He didn't have much luck here in the spring at Bristol. He finished 26th. Right now, Kowicki is 16th in the point standings. 46 behind Morgan Shepherd, who is in 15th. Laps are winding down. Now 25 laps to go. 475 are completed. Will Alan Kowicki win his first Winston Cup race of 1991? Come back and we'll find out. Alan Kowicki, car number 7, the Hooters Ford, is leading the Bud 500 with 19 laps to go. And the rookies have found each other on the racetrack, Bobby Hamilton and Tud Musgrave. Only 3 points separate them in the Rookie of the Year point standings. They are right together on the racetrack.
But they're 2 laps apart as far as scoring is concerned. As Kowicki goes by the Michael Waltrip car.
Here's a field summary. Watch for your favorite driver to see where he is in the serial scoring. Again, there are only 3 cars that are on the lead lap, and we are only 17 laps away from the checkered flag.
Seen Richard Petty in 12th spot.
He was in the top 10 a few minutes ago, but has dropped back to 12th. Bobby Labonte is substituting for Rick Wilson, who is suffering from some stomach flu. Bill Elliott was the pole sitter tonight, running 22nd. Several of these cars were involved in crashes earlier in the evening, but several have rejoined the race. Rusty Wallace finishes last in this event. Now the Western Auto Mechanic of the race is Danny Glad. Here's Jerry Punch.
And they're all smiles down here. Danny, congratulations on being named Western Auto Mechanic of the race.
Well, thank you. I'd like to thank the people from Western Auto for their involvement in NASCAR. And Jerry, this award goes to all the crew, all the part-timers, all the people in the engine room, the chassis shop, everybody who makes this happen. And, you know, Alan's really doing a good job out there, and he's getting the job done for us today. Thank you.
Danny Glad, a very unselfish young man who is one of the leaders in this Hooters team, and rightfully so. He has been named Western Auto Mechanic of the race here in Bristol. Bob?
All right, congratulations to Danny and all the crew members on the Hooters Ford. And this is really going to be another good victory here. Last week we had such a great win when Dale Jarrett won his first Winston Cup race. But it's going to mean a lot to Alan Kowicki if he can hold off for the next, 12 laps?
Yeah, it certainly will. He has struggled somewhat this year. He has run good. Of course, he's won some poles, but just hasn't been able to get it in victory lane. But run an awfully smart race here tonight. And he continues to pull away from Sterling Marlin. He's almost 9 seconds ahead of him now. And Jimmy Spencer almost got into the wall over in turn 2. He kept it off the wall, but he was very close to getting. Looks like he's headed to the pits again.
Here's Darrell Waltrip and Ken Schrader, who are running together, and Schrader is on the lead lap, but we understand he may have a tire going down.
Yeah, he's not far from going a lap down, Bob. Alan Quick is less than a second behind him.
Schrader running third.
You're looking for some drivers that's anxious to see this race over because it's a very tiring, very hard physical race. And with just 10 laps to go, they're saying, thank goodness, can't there be 5 to go?
Now, Mark Martin is coming up on Ken Schrader. That would be for position. He's not far. Martin is still behind Alan Kowicki, but not too far in front of him is Ken Schrader. Don't know if he has enough time in these 10 laps to catch him and pass him or not, but that would be a position if he does. There you can see, yeah, down on the front part of the screen, and there's Mark Martin.
7 laps to go in the Bud 500 with Alan Kowicki leading. It's also a very hot and humid night here in Bristol, which adds to the fatigue that these drivers are experiencing right now.
Yes, as the fellows have talked to the drivers in the pits, when they've fallen out of the race tonight, we can see just how much water is on the drivers as they're perspiring in this race car.
We saw Alan Kowicki pass out of frame now. Here comes second place Sterling Marlin. That's a nice, comfortable lead with less than 6 laps to go for Alan Kowicki. Here he comes to complete lap 495. 5 to go.
He's well over a half a lap ahead now.
Bobby Hamilton.
Be interesting to see if he lets Mark Martin go here in a little bit. He's coming up on some heavy traffic. He don't need to be running too hard there. He might just move over and let Mark Martin go now. This late in the race, it wouldn't hurt him too bad, probably. Ooh, and Martin gives him a bump as he ran up, had to back off on the outside of the 94 car of Terry Labonte there.
3 to go.
Everything was okay.
3 to go, and now Alan gets separated from the traffic a little bit.
And Martin will probably just stay back there now and follow him. Although he can still see Kenny Schrader up there. They're gaining on him quite a bit, and that would be a position if Mark Martin can get up there and pass him.
I think Wiggy will move over if he can ever get clear of the traffic.
Next time, the white flag will come out. This race is about over. Ford has the white flag in hand. Here it is for Alan Kowicki. Only one more time around this .533 mile oval, and Alan Kowicki will have his first victory of 1991. Here he is in the third and fourth turns now. He has survived the Bristol high banks, and Alan Kowicki wins the Bud 500. And the Hooters crew goes crazy out on pit road. A great win for this team and a great win for Alan. Here's John Kernan.
Well, we're trying to catch up with a very happy Paul Andrews. He's congratulating a lot of people. A lot of people coming up. It's been a long time coming for these guys.
Boy, it's a great day. I tell you, we come from 2 laps down. The guys done a great job. Alan done a great job driving the car. We're so happy to be in victory lane. We can't wait to get there. The Hooters down at Ford ran all day long. Like I said, the guys done a great job. We needed this win. We needed it real bad. We're just happy to be here.
All right, congratulations, Paul. Head on over to victory lane.
Alan Kowicki wins the Bud 500 here at Bristol. We'll be back to talk with him after this. Coming up in just a moment, baseball tonight, Sports Center at 11:30, and Speed Week at midnight. Let's go down to a very happy victory lane and Dr. Jerry Punch.
And Alan Kowicki still sitting in the car and trying to get his breath and getting his hair combed, getting his face.
It feels so good in here, I don't want to come out.
He said it feels so good, he doesn't want to come out with a big smile. Yes, he comes out, and his fans, some 60,000 strong, are waiting to see the man who won the 31st annual Budweiser 500. And yes, the celebration will begin here for the driver of the Hooters Ford. Alan, congratulations on a tremendous effort.
Oh, it feels great. You know, the day started off on a wrong note for us. We got a flat tire, got 2 laps down, and, you know, we just kept our cool and made the laps up, and the Hooters Ford Thunderbird ran great. I got to thank Hooters Restaurants, Dynalube, Ford Motor Company, Naturally Fresh, all my sponsors. My pit crew did a great job. You know, we've been down and out and run good and just keep having problems, but we bounce back, and, you know, the guys never quit. And Paul Andrews and Danny Glad, Ron Vaccaro, just all the guys on the crew. I mean, I can't name them all without forgetting some, but it was a team effort. We had good pit stops, good tires, and everything went great. You know, we didn't back into this one. This is, I think, 3 of the last 4 years we won a race, so I think I passed the fluke stage, and it just feels great.
Alan Kulwicki in victory lane here in Bristol, Tennessee. He will make his way to victory lane. In fact, he was here at the gas pumps. The 36-year-old driver becomes the first Ford winner on the short tracks in 1991. Bob?
Top 20 finishers in tonight's race. Marlin was second, Ken Schrader third, the only other car on the lead lap, and then Mark Martin and Ricky Rudd finish in 4th and 5th position. Show you 6 through 10 here, and guys, it was a typical Bristol race. Had a lot of crashing and banging, but fortunately no drivers injured, and just pure excitement from start to finish.
And of course, Ricky Rudd to pick up a few more points on Dale Earnhardt here tonight.
The Winston Cup points battle continues to tighten up as Earnhardt had some misfortune again tonight. Earnhardt ending up in 7th position, and Ricky Rudd ended up in 5th position. So as we go to the Southern 500 next Sunday, the interval between 1st and 2nd position in the battle for the Winston Cup is only 60. Rudd with a 60-point deficit on Dale Earnhardt. Mark Martin 3rd in the points, followed by Davey Allison and Ernie Irvan. Next Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, one of the great traditional races in NASCAR, the Heinz Southern 500 from Darlington, South Carolina. Be with us for all the action live here on ESPN at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Don't forget Speed Week coming up at midnight, and baseball tonight in Sports Center coming up. Our congratulations to Alan Kulwicki. And for Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch, this is Bob Jenkins. Thank you for joining us from Bristol International Raceway. So long, everyone.